Okay, there we are. We are live. All right.
Hi,
Now,
everybody.
okay. I mean, everybody's over watching the mob crib, whatever. That's fine. I'm just going to
Okay.
read my little fair use disclaimer about this
Okay.
video containing copyrighted material, the use of which has not always been specifically authorized by copyright owners. Such materials is used for purposes of criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and/or research in line with Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Fair use. All views, opinions, speculative statements expressed in this video are those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily reflect the views of this channel. Any speculative content is for entertainment and discussion purposes only and should not be taken as fact. Viewers are encouraged to do their own research. Thank you. All right, there's our teleprompter dilly. Here we go. All right, so I told her to take her time whenever she's ready. Just come on up. It's fine. You know.
Right, right.
So there we go. Who is this? Okay, oh, that's when Gypsy Rose. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start out with is I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about this Roblox thing. I think it's very interesting, and I think we ought to be talking about it because remember he didn't have he didn't have a way out into the internet. Apparently, that's not true. Apparently, he played Roblox quite a bit, according to this website and according to these people that are on this website, per his own father saying this on this Reddit, which I thought was kind of well, he says it's his father, but there's some statements on here that are kind of a little bit iffy, but I don't know, I'm not sure. Because it talks about he was going to talk to his wife and those kind of things. So let's just go back and take a look, all right? Okay,
But
go
why
back and
hide
take
it? It all
yeah,
comes down to
hide
why
it.
hide it.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's a little bit crazy, isn't it?
There's
Um,
got to be a reason.
okay, now here's the whole missing thing. Now, okay, so the first thing I'm looking at is the whole thing on Sebastian, his missing persons on Reddit. And, there's all kinds of discussions here. I mean, there's just many, many streams of discussion. All right. Now, let me go back over here. Let's find the other one where it talks about his Roblox thing. Let me all I have to do is put Roblox. Okay. Okay. I just told Cricket, take her time whenever she's ready. Just let me know. Just, it's fine. All right. So, here we go. Now, all right. Now, this is just from Reddit, and it's about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and it's about their insights and theories. There are many insights on here that say some Redditors suspect foul play, particularly involving the parents. These cases seem to commonly end one of two ways. Either the parent took the child out or they're found in water. Rarely do I hear a happy ending. It's so sad. And that is true. That is what we hear a lot. Autism and sensory. Now, here's the thing about his autism. His autism wasn't diagnosed until December, right before he disappeared in February. Remember that? So think about that, right? Let me see. Let me keep up with this over here. Make sure that if I see her, I can answer her. All right, there we go. So that's another thing that happened over here. So I don't think that using the autism I don't even think that should be used. I think it's highly inappropriate because that was such a new diagnosis. I don't think it really had anything to do with it. Then there's the lack of evidence. The absence of surveillance footage and the other traces has led to suspicion. It's strange there is so little information about this case from the investigators as well as the lack of trace. That's true, all right? Online interrogations, I'm sorry, online interactions is not interrogations. Anyway, interactions. There is possibility that Sebastian may have interacted with someone online. I, for one, believe, now this is just somebody from Reddit speaking, it is not me speaking. I, for one, believe that he could have very easily have left with someone he met online. Now, I'm going to say this. After reading the tip, or after reading the situation about his Roblox account, where Seth was actually asking for somebody to help him find his child, this was 4 days ago, all right? And this came from Correct Salt 3621. Now, the person that was supposedly Seth on here, his ID was listed as, let me see if I can find it again. Hang on. All right, let's see. First, I thought it was it. Alpha Wolf 99785. So if anybody else plays Roblox or they have information about how to get into Roblox, please look up Alpha Wolf 99785. All right, because that is going to be the Roblox account that is actually Sebastian's account where Seth was supposedly. And this is according to this guy. Under his name is Correct Salt 3621. All right. Now there is a lot of things posted on this one Reddit string about this case from this Roblox. Now I read some of them yesterday, but I did not read them all because there's just too many of them. There was an autistic person that did post on here, and I thought that was kind of interesting. He says, it is a mix of sensory things, trouble with spatial perception, and lack of comprehension for danger. That could be true. Water may provide sensory relief, such as a cooling sensation. A lot of us struggle with depth and distance perception, so we might not realize how deep the water is or how far we swam or wandered out. And danger is often an abstract concept that we don't recognize unless it's happening right in the moment. On top of that, many of us have motor difficulties, swimming or just catching ourselves before we fall, and get easily distracted. Recognizing and regulating our own behavior also takes longer. I didn't fully do it until an adult, and now I've overcompensate by avoiding any body of water. So unfortunately, especially among kids, this is a dangerous cocktail. Now this is somebody that has autism, so he's talking about it. And then
Yeah,
somebody else,
I could see that if he disappeared during the day.
right?
I could see that that would be relevant, but he disappeared at night.
But think about this for just a second. What if now, and because this is mentioned over here on this string of people talking on Reddit, what if, and this is just a what if he had been leaving the house at night and nobody knew it? What if he'd been leaving out and just going and messing around at night and then coming back in and going to bed before nobody even noticed it? That is a
Yeah,
possibility. You know,
that is
kids,
absolute possibility.
kids do those kind of things. So this other person says on this string, unfortunately, it's probably not going to have a good outcome. He had autism and eloped at night in winter in an area that is heavily wooded and has many bodies of water. He was a couple of hours walk from the Cumberland River, and the area closest to him had a very, very fast current. This might be awful for the parents, knowing he's probably not alive, but still holding on to hope because you can't know for sure until you find something. Hey there, good to see you. Hey, the other cricket, how you doing? It's fine. Take your time, cricket. We're always easy on this. If you got to do something, it's okay. I'm just reading the Roblox little Reddit Roblox from yesterday. Then there's this other one. I got to find it where it's talked about. Somebody said, oh, that they know somebody over there, and they talk about how he was actually going out at night. Okay, so I
Oh,
just need to, yeah, I want to find this really quick. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay, that was in that first part. There's so many. This is a huge string. I mean, huge. Perhaps, okay, listen. Perhaps he figured out to get into the game and noticed the chat option and didn't know that it was part of the game. But with bad technology doesn't mean you're dumb and helpless with it. Either ways, it's strange overall. It is. Back on Christmas Day, I got one of the most advanced ham radios. This guy's talking about this ham radio thing. And basically, he took it out of the box and boom, 3 or 4 seconds later, after pushing a couple of buttons, he was on his ham radio. Things are just so much easier to use now than they used to be. So, let's see. There's a message him on a different account that for sure he uses, like Facebook, Reddit, and ask if that was actually him. You're talking to on his son's Roblox account. We would like to know if it was actually Seth talking on the Roblox account. I would like to know, but I don't know how we're going to find out because I don't have any information. Oh, you know what? I might ask a lady freedom if she wants to ask him if it was him. That's a good way to do it, because I know she does talk to him, and so does Jen from the Mystics. Okay. So, but why I need to find this? But another thing about this particular discussion was that when this discussion was happening, they were only talking about the $50,000 reward um, instead of this other reward. Because if you remember the at night situation and you know, Seth. So now I'm going to talk about this for a second too, and I know it's very highly controversial. There is, I have, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, I don't know. It's my understanding that Seth is really not working with at night anymore. Okay. Now, this is just something I've seen through the internet, through Reddit, through all these different things, right? Because if he is talking about these kids, I mean, this was 4 days ago. This was on Reddit 4 days ago. This got put up. And he was talking about this and only mentioned the $50,000 reward and not the other reward. Think about that. Okay. Now, I don't know. There's just also, I want y'all to know that At Night has changed their name once again. All right. Now they're called At Night Creative Intel. All right. And I know this is not popular. It's okay. I know it's controversial. It's okay. I know people don't particularly agree with me when I start talking about At Night. Now, listen, if they were hired just to keep his name out in the public, that's fine. Do that. That's great. It helps, right? But what doesn't help is when you start making up crap and putting it out there to keep his name in the public. And we know that has happened with At Night. All right. We've seen it happen. It's not just us. Okay. Um, let me see. Listen to this. Here's another thing that's weird about that particular post. It's not a good source, and it's brought on by this weird fake media people. I know all sounds crazy, and it is. I think those of us who may have prior knowledge or bias on this should not comment. See what happens with people who have never heard of this and then look at it. I'll say this, if a source is on the 100% mom stepdad did it train, they are biased, as stated by police and the evidence, and that is true. All right. Once more thing about this, Seth, the bio dad, isn't married and hasn't been in at least that last 8 years. And if you remember in the Reddit discussion, it was talked about he would ask his wife. All right, they divorced in 2016, so it'll soon be 10 years. But this person's still saying his wife, not his ex-wife. Now, this is what it did say that. So I've been keeping track of this case. This is somebody else. I've been keeping track of this case since his initial disappearance. He reminds me a lot of my autistic cousins that are around that age. I keep an eye on found remains and missing persons information, but there haven't been any around close enough to where he went missing that match his information. I feel like it was a misadventure due to wandering, either by drowning or exposure. Now, this is just another person on Reddit just saying what they want to say, you know. Now, listen to this. Now, this is somebody else saying this. It is not me, okay? Again, this is just reading it right off of Reddit, and it's on the Missing Son Help on Roblox. That's the name of it. Seth has lied or changed his story so many times that's given me reason to side-eye him. I don't believe he's responsible for the disappearance of Sebastian, but he sure did benefit financially and socially in the beginning. He is overall a crap person. Now, this is not me. This is strictly from Reddit. He's overall a crap person. Missing child or not, I don't support grooming a 12-year-old by his own words and the math he groomed Katie, Sebastian's mother. He honestly blows my mind. How many sympathizers are out there that put on the blinders just to get a little attention from Seth? Seth's popularity, his boat has mostly sailed at this point, and he is left just sitting with very few supporters. I can't find it in me to feel sorry for him. The amount of hate and spite he has spewed towards Katie and Chris is sickening. He also put out a very, very, very personal information about Sebastian that didn't need to be publicly known. I swear we could write a book solely about Seth's shenanigans, which is extremely sad because all of Seth's BS has steered to the conversation away from this poor missing child. Okay, that's somebody else. This is, that's what they say. So then the next person, I'm not giving the names of these people because I've told you where it's at. If you want to go look at it for yourself, you're more than welcome to. It's Missing Son Help on Roblox, and this is on Reddit. Okay. So the next person says, for some reason, Sebastian became a viral meme on TikTok lately. I'm guessing the person in the game was not his father, yet that doesn't change much. The kid is still missing. That's true. That's my guess too, since the user's display name is currently the Foid Reaper. The Foid Reaper. Foid is short for femoid and incel term for women. Okay. No, I don't know. See, that's the thing because I don't play this game and I've never been in there. I don't know if you can change your name. I don't know anything about it. So if this other person knows that for sure, I find that kind of interesting. Was he saying Sebastian didn't know he could chat on there or wasn't good with technology? Or that person that you were talking to didn't know? I don't like adults talking to kids on Roblox. Ding, ding, ding. That is a big red flag. Because if you remember, guess who else had a problem with doing that? That's right. Maddie Soto's killer. Mm-hmm. Yes, Steven Stearns. That sick son of you know what. Anyway. I don't like adults talking to kids on Roblox. Sebastian has been a high profile Amber Alert for almost 2 years and has been one of the largest missing person searches in Tennessee's history. How does this man think kids on Roblox are going to help him find him? See, that is a big red flag, isn't it? It might not have been him. We don't know for sure, right? Also, Seth doesn't have a wife and he never said his son played Roblox. Sebastian couldn't play video games at mom or stepdad's house. Okay, now we're going to go back though because we do know that Seth let him play at his house. Remember? Seth talked about that. So, regarding, he says, this is somebody else saying, using his missing son's account, I had a cousin die by suicide, and my aunt used his Facebook account for a while afterward. Everyone reacts differently to stress and grief. And that is true. They do react differently. Sebastian is not a cold case. Roblox is a game that lures children. I've heard that about Roblox as well myself. So Roblox is a game that bad people use to lure children. Could be true. I don't know. Okay, so that's the story with that, and that's about what happened on this one thread about this missing child, missing son, help, and that was just the name of it. That's what it's titled, and it was from 4 days ago. So it had 433 votes, upvotes, 129. It had 129 people, different comments put out about it. So now here, I'm going to go out of that one, and we're going to go to this next one over here. Because I mean, there's a lot of information on Reddit that people don't realize. So anyway, so Matt, here's another one right here. This is a reflect on the 2025, and it's okay. So here we go. Snip. The teen lives with his biological mother and stepfather. His biological father is also a deputy with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office, according to Sheriff Darren Hall. All right. Despite the massive search effort, crews have not found a trace of that child. Sebastian is 5'5", 120 pounds, and brown hair and brown eyes. Okay, the next person says, this was quite a while back. Let me find the most recent ones. Because there's so many subreddits on here, there's just so much information on here. It's crazy. Some of them are new, some of them are old. Let me go find that newer one over here. Here we go. Let me go find a newer one. Okay, so we're going to go over here and go say for December. Let me see. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. It's running. View answers. All right. This is from December. Sebastian Wayne Drake Roberts is talking about when he went missing, and there's the what they think. And then let's see, here's some news. Let's see what the news says. All right. Circumstances. All right. Now here's something interesting about this that I really never thought about before. It says last seen. Sebastian was last seen on February the 25th between the hours of 9 and 10 p.m. when he said goodnight to his mother, Katie Proudfoot. That's what it says, right? Mother's account. Katie reported hearing a loud bang from Sebastian's room before 10 p.m., to which he responded he was all right and that she told him to go to bed. And that's what Katie reported hearing. Discovery or disappearance. The next morning, February the 26th, Katie entered Sebastian's room to wake him up for school, but he was not there. All right. Then it goes items left behind. I'm just reading somebody else's. I'll ask my daughter. Please do, Cricket. Please ask her about that, and then maybe she can find that person's name. Oh gosh, that'd be great, Cricket. Thank you so much. Because I really want to know if this is true or not. The next one was what he left items left behind. Well, he left behind everything, right? We know that. Missing items, and of course she says there was a yellow flashlight. What I want to know though is as you go through this, the video, okay, you're talking about this video evidence, right? A security video appears to show two people with flashlight. Okay, here we go with that. I don't know about this because the security camera video appears to show two people near Sebastian's home at the night that he went disappeared. I don't know why that's on there because this is a theory and a speculation. This is not, and I know we've seen all kinds of things put out on the internet. I know we have, guys, but I don't know. We don't know what it is, where it came from, if it's real or not. I don't know that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, that's true, because I don't know that. I really don't know that when it comes to Sebastian, right? Now, I will tell you this. Cricket, which when she's going to come on, she lives in Tennessee. And if you've watched any of her videos, you know that she has been around where they're doing the searching and all that. There's a wealth of information there. It's not always what people want to hear, but she's going to tell you what she really knows as fact, and that's it. She's very honest, she's straightforward, and I like that. We're not going to have any BS. We're not going to have any rude comments, none of that kind of thing. I tell you, you got to be respectful over here because really what we want is the truth, and that's it. I know that Mob Crew is live right now, and I know he's talking about what they found next and all these other things to do with these lights in the cemetery. Okay, I know he is. Okay, that's fine too. Everybody's welcome to believe or think whatever they want to think. But I'm going to ask you a question. Hey, there's my OG mom, and how you doing? Thanks for coming in, girl. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're waiting on Cricket. She's going to talk to her daughter, but hang on a second. Let's talk about this, and let's talk about it like this. You have to think logically when it comes to this case or any other case. You got to ask yourself this question. Why are these videos coming out now? Where have they been? LE collected every video except they have it all. LE knows everything about this case, right? Don't people always, they're not working the case. They're not working the case. Well, they are working the case, but they're just not telling you what they're doing on it. And they don't have to. And I know that it's an unpopular subject, and I'm sorry, but it is. Okay. So you just have to critically think, what about this, that, and the other? I mean, all of these different lights here, lights there, reenactment, because they've done reenactments. We know they've done reenactments of things that they think they saw. We know they have. You just can't believe everything you see. It has to make sense, right? I just don't believe that there was anybody in the cemetery. Okay, what I believe they're seeing is they might have seen some lights, but I think it's because it's reflections. Okay, it's just reflections. That's it. I don't know about the lights behind the house. I don't know if that's real or not real. Okay. I don't know about the cars on the street. I don't know if that's real or not real. Because one of the things we did hear was one of the people who have stated that those were there is also the neighborhood Karen. Okay. I'm just gonna tell you. My daughter said you change your Roblox username for 1,000 Robux, like 20 bucks. But she also said you can click something and see past usernames. Oh, Cricket, I'm going to give you this name, and we'll get her to look, if you don't mind, get her to look it up if she can. Okay. So the guy's name is Alpha Wolf. Okay. Let me go back and pick this up. Woo, boy, this would be great. I can't wait. Okay. Roblox. Here we go. I mean, this could be what happened. We don't know, you know? Here we go. So let me pull this back up. Okay, the Roblox game. A user on Roblox claimed the father of Sebastian Rogers, a teen who went missing in Tennessee. Redditors were skeptical but supportive, noting that the authenticity of users' claims and the ongoing search for Sebastian. So let me find that name. Oh boy. Here we go. Roblox has been a topic of concern regarding missing persons, and several discussions on Reddit shed light on the issues and experiences related to this. Here are some of the key points and insights from Redditors. This is a wealth of information, really. The name, it's called, I'm going to type it in for you, okay, Cricket? Here we go. Alpha Wolf. Alpha Wolf is at 99785. Here we go. Thank you so much. I think that she could help us by checking that to see if it's what it is even, you know. There we go. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Cricket, just let us know. We're just BSing over here. We're just having a discussion. So there's that. There's community awareness. Residents from Tennessee have acknowledged this case significance and heavy lifting done by his father, which that's true. He's done a lot of the work looking for him. Skepticism and safety concerns. Some users express skepticism about the authenticity of the Roblox interaction, suggesting it could be a scam to get the FBI reward. No, I don't believe so because they were not asking, this person was not asking for anything other than help me find my son. I don't think it was anything to do with the FBI. The FBI is offering a 50,000 reward if it's possible the person you chatted with on Roblox is trying to get info from you and anyone else so they can get the reward. Well, they're not going to get the reward and unless they have information that will, oh, they've got it. Thank you so much. That will lead to Sebastian or the person's responsible. So I don't believe that that's really the right statement that should have been made about that. Then there's the platform policies. There have been discussions about the effectiveness of Roblox's safety policies, especially after the rise of prominent cases. Since Schlepp's rise to prominence, Roblox has introduced a slew of new policies in the name of safety. And that's good to know because, again, Steven Stearns was grooming people or talking to people through Roblox. Now, here's some additional coverages. Lore Lodge coverage. For more detailed information on Sebastian's case, users recommend watching the coverage by Lore Lodge on YouTube. Lore Lodge on YouTube has pretty comprehensive coverage of it, and they do, and they make you think about everything, right? And then there's the FBI coverage. The FBI also has dedicated a page for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So there's some other subreddits that talk about him. There's the true crime discussion, there's the Roblox discussions, and then there's the RBI, which I don't know why it's called RBI, but it's called RBI. The communities can provide additional insight and supports if you have more questions or need further assistance. So there, and that is the situation with Roblox. Now we know that Seth said, "I'm sorry, I'm just talking, ain't I, Springfield? I'm not gonna let you talk." Hang on. We know that Seth said he absolutely played games at his house. He knew he played games at his house, and remember, Uncle Taco said, "Yeah, he played with him online all the time at Seth's house." So I just think that you cannot sit here and say that there was no way that he could have met somebody online. That is a very real possibility. And let me tell you this: everybody says, "Well, okay, well, if his mother did something with him, she would have been seen leaving the house." She would have been seen leaving the house. That's right. She certainly would have. Absolutely, she would have. But she wasn't. Just like he wasn't seen. Nobody was seen driving down the street, pulling out of their driveway that night. All right. We know that they talk about people walking around on the street and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, well, people walk around the street all the time. All right. I live on a street where there are no street lights. Okay, and it is dark out there. But a lot of us have the cameras. Our little cameras see everything. We see the little animals. We hear the little noises. We see people driving down the street. We see everything. So I think if he would have went out that front door, he would have been seen. But here's the thing about this. Let's talk about the backyard. Do y'all remember? I know OG Mom remembers this very well, and I bet Cricket remembers this very well as well. And that is, remember when they were in the backyard and they were looking for something, and I believe it was evidence in that backyard. I know y'all remember this because it was just a few days later. They had some equipment out there in the backyard. Um, I They say the dogs got no scent of him leaving the house. There was no scent of him leaving the house, right? Okay. But the only thing we saw leaving that house was the next morning was her driving out to look for him. Now, there's people that said that the mother of Chris Proudfoot was at the Worsham store down there. And we know that those two have cars that are very similar, but I don't believe they're the exact same color, okay? And they're not going to have the same license plate. We know that. So I don't believe that there was any kind of, oh, she switched cars with the mother-in-law. I don't believe that. So let's talk about what happened to that child. Now, I think Cricket has a wealth of information here, and when she's ready to come up, she can come up and we'll start talking about it. I just wanted to talk a little bit myself about what's going on out here with this case and all the things that are being said and all the things that are being put out there, and to really stop and think about this logically. Because when you think about things, when you use your critical thinking, you realize a lot of this stuff that's being put out there, there's no possible way that could be true. I'm just sorry, there's just not. I don't know, I don't know why people can't see why some of this cannot be true, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. What do you think, Sprinkled? I'm gonna be looking at something. What you think?
Well, I agree. I mean, people can say whatever they want to say. I mean, they can say whatever they want to say. But what they say, there has to be, what's the word I'm looking for? There has to be some basis to it. And basis is generally a black and white issue. It's not a gray issue. It's not a maybe, it's not a could be, it's not a possibly. It's black or white when it comes to evidence and people seeing things. Like you said, they had, the same car. Well, obviously, if the car's the same, it's going to be different colors. So they don't have the same car. One is green, one is white.
Right,
You can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that there's basis or fact to whatever you're saying.
right.
And
I
it's
mean,
and it's the gray area that gets everybody all worked up and everybody going on all these different tangents where they really they're not going to lead anywhere because there's no basis to what they're saying.
right, right. Um, the OG Mama says, thank you, Cricket, because Cricket's looking at this for us right quick. And she goes, I'm almost home. I look so forward to you all talking, and I'm so grateful you're speaking your mind, Lil Red. Thank you, OG Mom. And I know that last time I did this, yes, I lost a lot of subscribers, and that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can't let me have my own thoughts and put them out there. Sorry that everybody thinks we all have to think alike because we don't. And I'm sorry that some people think we all have to listen to the same people and agree with them because we don't. Because in my mind, if it does not make sense, it does not make sense. And
No,
some of this
no,
does not make sense. I'm
no,
sorry. The
no.
cemetery does not make sense. You got to
No.
think about that too. That would have meant that they would have had to somehow sneak up there, prepare the ground somehow, and then sneak up there and put this person in there, and then sneak back home, and that
And
that the people in the cemetery wouldn't notice that there was something there, something was different,
yeah,
right?
and those sites, those
Yeah,
sites, those sites are monitored. They're not just left willy-nilly for people to just do whatever. They're very
hang
regulated.
on,
They're not just open to have
hang on, Cricket.
possibly
Hey,
people.
Cricket. Cricket, go to your TikTok messenger, and I sent the link to you to just click on that link, and then you can come on and join us. Thank you so much. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? Let me resend it. Let me resend it for you. I'm so sorry. I don't think it went. Hang on a second. All right. Yeah. Let me get this link for her. Okay. Copy. Let me take it and send it to her right now. Okay.
You can always send it to her in the chat too.
Yeah. But I wanted to be able to click on it. Okay, here we go. Paste. There.
She can. I'm pretty sure she can click
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it
I
through
think
the
you can click
chat.
on it here too. Yeah. Here, let me do it this way. Copy. And here you go. Paste. And I think you can just click right here and it'll let you come up, Cricket. Yeah. Okay, there. Either one of those or yeah, yeah. So, I mean, when I first started listening to Cricket, um, I really thought to myself, you know what? I know she's very controversial, but really, I just have to agree. I'm sorry. I mean, if it
Well,
makes sense, it
and
makes sense. So,
yeah, and I hate the fact that you apologize for your opinion. I just don't. I know why you do that, but I just don't feel that that's necessary. You are entitled. We are all entitled to our own opinions. And like you
you're
said, we
right.
all we don't all have to agree. There's no
You're right.
point in us all agreeing. Everybody has their own opinion, and an opinion is just that. It's an opinion. Period. And
I
if
mean,
people
it has
want
to
to,
make sense.
people
Yeah.
if people want to run away because they disagree, then go. But that's not the point. The point of these things are discussions. And if people do not have a difference of opinion, there is no
Yeah,
discussion to be had.
that's true. That's absolutely true. OG says, our mama says, sadly, many said they were exactly the same color. So much inaccurate information. See, that's something we don't. Okay, now here's our friend Cricket. Here we go. I'm going to add her to the stage. Welcome, I ain't wrong, Cricket. So glad to have you with us.
Can you
So,
guys hear me?
yes, we
We
can.
can.
We can. All right. So, welcome, Cricket. And this is my friend, Sprinkled Donut, who she's
Hi,
she's
Cricket.
my partner. And anyway, so How was your day, Cricket? Okay, I hope she can hear me. I hope she can hear me. Let me turn this off
Maybe
over
she
here.
muted herself.
Hey, Couponing, how you doing? Yeah, no, I see that she's there. It's okay. Cricket, can you hear us okay? Hey, couponing. You woke up from a nap. It's okay, girl. Take your time. You know how I am about this. I'm so easy. I'm like, watch it whenever you get a chance. Just listen whenever you have a chance. You see, y'all remember I really just wanted to do podcast thing where people just listen to it in their car or whatever. But then I decided, no, I have to talk to my friends. So that's why I have to do it this way. It's so crazy, I know. All right. I think Cricket is here. She's on the solo layout. All right, there we go. So whenever you're ready, Cricket, just start talking. We'll shut up. Oh, here we go. Add to stage. We go there. All right. Let me get rid of this one. All right. I have to remove this one because now we have two of her.
I have to remove
There
like
you go.
YouTube from my phone or something while I did it. I don't really know how it works.
Okay, we got you. We can hear you just fine. Thank
Yay!
you so much. Yes, thank you for coming on. Now, Cricket, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I don't ever do YouTube live, so that's why there's so much confusion right now.
Mhm.
I don't do true crime at all, ever. I got a bit attached to Sebastian's case because I am the mom of a luckily short-lived successful runaway, and it was terrifying for me.
Thank you.
And sorry, my kid wants a hot dog, so that's why you hear my microwave right now.
It's okay. Do what you got to do, girl. We're easy over here. We're easy.
I was super, I guess controversial, you could say. Not that I had different opinions than people. I was just a little more sassy and mouthy about them, I think. And I didn't really care who thought what, and I still don't. I guess
like that.
because I have a thing. Like, I just feel like protecting kids has to be important. And I live in Tennessee, and I think I was telling you on a TikTok chat, like, I have friends who are true crime creators, and they say, all the kids are eventually found. And sometimes it's not a good situation, but the kids in Tennessee just don't get found. And
isn't that wild? Yeah.
it's terrifying being a mom in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I took a lot of my videos down on TikTok because I just made a video yesterday, actually, because I'm also going to take accountability. Like, I sass and say I'm not wrong, but of course, sometimes I guess I am. But,
Right.
everybody's so convinced, and when it's compelling, I fall into it. And the first year and a half, I was hardcore blaming the Proudfoots, and then I was like, well, maybe there are other options. And I think that was just my heart not being able to come to terms with the fact a mom or a parent could do that to their own child,
Yes.
I want that to not be true. But the facts are, I don't know. Like, there's some things I've been told by people I trust that are close to the case, that are in the area, that aren't on, social media. And again, it's hearsay, like, I don't know. But, I don't know. I do know some things that make it look real bad, I guess you could say. I have some information, I guess, that isn't out there. But again, it's hearsay. Like, I don't know if it's true.
Right. And spreading rumors is just, if you're spreading rumors, you're not helping the case. And that's the problem with this case. Go ahead.
Absolutely it is. And the drama in this case, and I've talked to true crime creators. I'm like, how do y'all do this? And they're like, not every case is like that. In fact, none of them are at all.
Right.
Like, because it doesn't matter what you say if you're not fitting someone's narrative. Like, when I got really frustrated and shared some documents I maybe shouldn't have, but it stirred up the right people to hopefully make movement, which was my only goal. It wasn't to incite chaos on social media.
Yes. Thank you.
People were going bonkers, and I was like, y'all, this is supposedly factual information. And since one of the people who worked those documents messaged me angry about it, I can only assume that they were,
Right. 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 Well, the thing is, I know that you and I've kind of talked about this a little bit, and that's the fact that everybody's mad at law enforcement, blah blah blah. Because and I know we have different thoughts on this too, and so I thought we kind of discuss this a little bit if you want to. And
Yeah.
that's like everybody blames Sumner County. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. And I'm like, well, you don't know that they don't do anything, right? Because they're not going to give their case away. Now, I worked in the district attorney's office, and so I know what happens, and I know what it takes to actually win a guilty verdict, right? And I know a DA is not going to bring something not going to bring something to a jury until they can win it, because that's how they strive on winning. I mean, they don't go to lose. So,
Which I get that. That makes sense, and I agree with you. But also, my thing is the goal to get a conviction, or is the goal to produce Sebastian? You know what I'm saying? Is the goal to find him and then figure out what happened and who did it, if someone did it, or is the goal just to convict somebody? That's where my issue comes in. I get them not giving their case away. I get them not telling us everything. I understood that the first year. And then when more information starts coming in and there's proof of that information that isn't to the public, that I don't know if I was lucky or unlucky to be privy to, but it's like, it seems to me, just my opinion from my perspective, that there's a lot of, I don't want to say sweeping under the rug, but it's a lack of urgency. It's a lack of curiosity. It's a lack of, to me, that's what it seems like. And it's frustrating in the beginning with law enforcement. Not that I think they were involved or they're paid or any of that. But I think about it, if it was my community and a child went missing in my town and law enforcement wasn't saying anything, I feel like the community a little bit deserves to know, like, is there a threat to other children?
Right.
Or, never really said that. They didn't say anything other than they didn't know. And that was frustrating. And then there were times the sheriff even said out of his own mouth, even if I find him, I'm not telling anybody. Like, why would you say that publicly, but nothing useful? That's the frustration. But I get there's a lot of pressure on them. I feel like, which, who am I? I'm not law enforcement, but to me, to satisfy me, I feel like a lot of things could be handled different and could have been this whole time.
I agree with that. See, I agree with that. One of the things that happened is the original sheriff who first got this case took it as a runaway, and he did not protect the crime scene or anything. He didn't do anything he was supposed to do. So then we have Eric Craddock steps into this, and now he's getting blamed for what the original sheriff did not do.
Right.
And that's a little bit unfair,
Yeah, I agree. But I also feel like Eric Craddock, he could have shifted things in a different direction, but instead he just chose silence pretty much. And I know that some people locally there and some people working the case have kind of put some pressure on them. Like, we've got, like, I'm just going to say it because I'm going to tell you something. I don't really give a damn, and I'm sorry for cussing on your channel. But
it's okay. I'm not monetized. You can say whatever you want to say.
I ended up with a private individual, these documents that I stayed silent about, not because they asked me to, but just because I was like, I don't want to impede an investigation. And then it got close to Christmas, and this was eating me alive because I was like, I don't understand how these documents are dated for April of this year, and nothing has been said at all except for the weird thing the FBI released where they had a lot of incorrect information and then randomly mentioned a lot of times autistic children are found in water. That was, and a lot of us talked about it. We were like, that's a random thing for them to put in this post. We made videos about it.
Damn sure is.
But I had this document. And I held on to it, and it was eating me alive. And I was just thinking on Christmas, with my kid at home, I was like, I feel bad for these parents if they really are innocent and they don't know what's going on. Like, this is bullshit. And I made my post, and then of course people freaked out, and then I got mad and I redacted those documents, which, like I said, I may not should have posted them, but if they're under some kind of confidentiality contract, I wasn't there for that if it does exist. So I didn't do anything wrong.
Right, you didn't.
But I still took them down because I don't want to be insensitive if certain people in his family aren't aware of that, and they find it on my TikTok raising hell. That's not right.
You're right.
But yeah, so I have these documents, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a search and rescue person. I'm not a forensic pathologist, but what is in this image looks like skeletal remains, and it's awful close to where he lives. So what's going on now? And there, apparently, what was told to me was a lot of miscommunication between search and rescue, some of the other people involved in law enforcement, and some of the people went and pressured Sumner County and was like, what's going on? And they said they didn't have a body. So has whatever's in that picture, I'm not saying it is anything because I don't know what remains look like. I've never seen them. But if that's what's in that picture, has it been pulled out of the water and tested? That's my question. And if not, why not?
I would like to know that same thing, if that's what that is. I mean, I heard you talk about this, but I did not look at the documents that you had posted up. I think you took it down before I saw them, but that's okay. I trust exactly what you're saying. I like you. We think a lot alike on this case. Because you have to think logically. You can't just believe everything somebody says.
Right.
And there's a bunch of just highly suspect things that have been brought out, and it's been brought out by the wrong people. And this is very unpopular. I know it's unpopular, but we're going to talk about at night for a moment. Okay. And I know they've changed their name so many times. They've ran with so many different narratives and created so many different things and got put it out there. And I think what the intention was to get FBI to step up and take the case. But that didn't happen, right?
Right, because they went about it insanely, for one.
Thank you. Yes.
They themselves look ridiculous. And it's like, if they were so professional to be asking people for $1 million retainers, I would think they would have a better way of trying to get FBI involved than making up a hoax, which is what they did.
I agree with that. And I know a lot of people don't. Okay, yes. Hey, Cricket, is it okay, Cricket, if I'm going to get the OG mama to come up? I'm going to tell you something. The OG mama has autistic children. She lives in Tennessee, just like you do. And she's very, very familiar with some of the things that happened in the very beginning of this case. So is it okay if she just comes up and talks with us?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I can tell you about the Roblox user. She's eating those chips today.
Okay. Yeah, let me get this over here for her. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted her to come up, but I wanted make sure you're good with it, because I know that you are very cautious, and I don't blame you one bit. I don't blame you one bit. But it's fun to do.
There's a lot of drama over here in YouTube land.
There
I
is.
don't like being affiliated with that. Because I'm a 5,000 follower nobody. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I'm a nobody too, as you can see. I'm very small, and I'm not even monetized. And the reason why this case has always been important to me, because this little boy just pulls at my heartstrings. He is so freaking sweet, and I do think that he was mistreated at home based on what we see. Now, it may not be true. We don't know that for a fact, right? So, I don't know. The case just pulls at me. Now, there's another case that I'm kind of involved in, and that is the Devlin Tate case. I don't know if you know anything about him or not, but he also has the exact same chromosome issue and is autistic, just like Sebastian.
Yeah, after Sebastian, I would not be following any cases because
it's too much, right?
Yeah. Let me see.
It is. Yeah. This another thing. Okay, so just like there are people that really have been saying the same thing for a year now. They come on every single day and they spend hours and hours and hours sitting over here talking about this case, right? And I don't understand what do they think? How does this help? I just want to know, what do you think about how this helps if we spend hours and hours just regurgitating the same thing somebody else said 2 hours earlier?
Right. I think a lot of people, sadly, I don't want to accuse anyone, but it seems to me that everybody's like in a race to drop information first, not to really research it and fact check it. Everybody wants the content. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think it's really that they're invested. I mean, maybe they are, but overall, I think it's content that they're after. So they're willing to regurgitate whatever sounds crazy.
Right. That's right. I know there's one channel, and I'm not going to name call or anything like that, but I know there's one channel that everything at night says they run over and put it out. They don't fact check any of it. And I kind of concerned, makes me concerned because I'm like, you realize that doesn't make any sense, right? But whatever. I mean, everybody runs their channel however they want to. That's fine. But I just think that putting out misinformation is just making it worse. So,
Agree, but like I said earlier, a lot of these people, a lot of these channels are compelling. I wouldn't think At Night was very compelling, but some people may.
right, right.
Sounds good, so they want to release it. And yeah, At Night it's a bunch of buffoons, if you ask me, but nobody really asked me. I just volunteered.
That's okay. I volunteered the same thing. And people don't like what I say, but I don't care. And when it comes to that, I don't care because I did my own research and that's why I know what I know. And it is fact. And if anybody wants to see the information, all you got to do is contact me. I'll be happy to give it to you. But anybody else could do the same research I did and find the same thing. So I'm just going to put that out there.
I
But
sent a message in, I guess, this StreamYard studio chat. I don't know if you can see it about
let me see. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
where it
Thank
says
you.
Where it says joined 829, I had her clarify. She said that account joined Roblox 82925. So
Oh,
that pretty
okay.
much ends that.
Okay. So it is not the account of Sebastian.
It
Okay.
can't be.
It can't be. All right, that takes care of that. So thank you so much. I appreciate you looking that up. See, that's the kind of thing, and that's what you want to know is oh, look at all the different names right there.
Well,
Huh.
that's apparently their friends, and she said that Reese person was online playing a game just now, but that's their friends. And then their nickname is whatever the Floyd. I don't want
Yeah.
to say it, but yeah.
All right. All right.
But
Okay.
that count was made 82925.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we don't want to start rumors. We want to clear things. So there's no way that this is great. This is great news. So the Roblox account was made on 8/29/2025. There's no way that it belongs to Sebastian. And I do not believe that was Seth Rogers on there. So we're going to say that the Roblox is a fake, a false. It's not true. There you go. And I ever say anything that's not true, I'm going to stand up and tell you, okay, that's not true. I figured out it's not true. So thank you so much, Cricket, for looking that up. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what do you think is going to happen next on this case? I know it's a hard one, but
I don't know, because I feel like I hate to say I know things that aren't out in the public because it sounds so pretentious, but
it's okay.
I feel like there's the things I thought would have already happened seem to be not happening. So I really don't know, because I feel like there's there's one of two options, and it's Sebastian somehow walked out and wasn't on camera. But just because we haven't seen all the camera footage, does that mean there's not more camera footage? I have that
Thank
question.
you.
I have been shown by people locally that apparently that camera footage in the backyard, that Nick Barris had took a video on his phone of another screen, and it kind of makes a glare and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have been someone has let me in on that some locals went to that neighbor's house, apparently, so they could reenact what people were claiming was happening on that video. And it doesn't add up. That gazebo, from where their camera was, like, locals put a camera like where that one was to see what that would look like, and that gazebo wouldn't even be in the frame.
Okay.
So I don't know if that changed. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not nothing. I'm just saying it doesn't add up from when it was recreated, and it has been.
Okay.
That's
See, that's the information I want to know. I mean, you
Yeah.
live there, you're going to know things that the rest of us are not going to know. And some people are going to tell us this. It's okay if you're late, Leslie. Good to see you. Hey, so good to see you all. Thank you for coming in. I know KJ Matt came in. Thank you so much. Couponing. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there's things that we're never going to hear because it's not sensational, right? Because it's not going to bring in clicks and views. And so thank you for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate that, because I don't want to hear all that other stuff. I only want to hear facts. How do you feel about Silver's on the Scene and the mob crew and what they're doing with the reenactments of the cemetery and the lights in the cemetery into the neighborhood?
For me, I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
I've watched stuff of Mob Crew that my friends have sent me in clips, but when I tell y'all, I can't tell you how much I've been pacing just being on this live. Like, I'm super ADHD.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind at all. But for me to sit down and watch somebody's 3-hour video of them doing light overlays, like, it's not going to happen. I haven't looked a lot into the cemetery or any new theories, and I will tell you why. Because what I saw in those documents,
Okay.
and also getting a message with the name of the person who created these documents, it felt like an attempt to intimidate me. It may not have been, but they were very upset that I had done what I'd done, which was kind of the point, because I was trying to push the higher ups to talk to each other and do something.
Thank you.
Announce that, but that was just my plan. And it seemingly worked, or is working. But after seeing that, and I'll just tell you, since I took it down, this is like a 38-page report of a search that took place in April, and there's images of certain things. And one of the images appears to be skeletal remains underwater. And it's close. It's not, in his yard, but it's close to where he lives. And in the beginning, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Stephen Crabtree. They railroaded him, I feel like. But
I heard a little bit about him and saw a little bit about that, yes.
Okay, well, in the very beginning, he does a lot of stuff with missing people, like just out of the kindness of his heart. Like, he doesn't get paid. That's what he does. And he's got a lot of different equipment and cool stuff. And he was out there every day in his boat on the water. And he had posted something from his, I guess it's called a sonar or something. And it looked not good. And he posted that. And we don't know who, but a bunch of people online come for him. Certain YouTube creators called, like, these contracts he had with his business. He ended up losing his business. It was crazy. It was crazy. And me and him disagree about a lot of things, but I would go to bat for him every time, because that was wrong. And he's good-hearted. He just wanted to help. And so he just covered the case. So where these skeletal remains appear to be from this document is maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 feet from where he originally saw what he saw. And like I said, I don't know if it's skeletal remains. I just know what it looks like on this document and what they say it could be. It would need further testing than what they had for this search and rescue. So after seeing that and putting that together with what Stephen had saw way back in the beginning, I'm not super compelled by these other theories, at least not yet, because I don't know. My opinion is probably it is him, but I don't know.
Okay.
And did he walk out and accidentally slip because they had a tornado the month before and the water was crazy? Did he fall in and drown? Or
I wondered about that. Yeah.
Or did his mama have something to do with it? I don't know. But I do think that's where I'm going to find it, especially since this woman messaged me upset with me for sharing this. And I told her, basically, I got it from a private individual and could post what I wanted. And she said, well, luckily that's not current anymore. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Let's welcome to the stage, I'm sorry, momming it up over here. I'm so sorry. I almost said, anyways, this is Charity. I mean, mommy, no, it's the OG mama now. It's the OG mama. I'm so sorry, girl. Anyway, it says that, okay, there you go. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Now, Charity, Mom, and I'm so sorry, girl, forgive me. And this is Cricket, and she's on TikTok a lot. She doesn't do YouTube much. So I just wanted to introduce you and let y'all start talking about, because you both live in Tennessee, you were both there, you both saw a lot of things that started happening in the very beginning that became a huge mess. So there you go. So thank you for coming to the stage. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry to Cricket for not reaching out to you, because I did follow you and I still do. I just don't do TikTok much.
Oh, that's
Um,
okay. Thanks. No, I understand because I don't YouTube at all. Like this is new territory.
Well,
yeah,
we appreciate it. Yeah.
I get that.
Yes. So tell us about, okay, so Mammon, now you've been kind of listening to what Cricket was telling us. Do you remember any of these things about what happened to Stephen Crabtree and what he seemed to have found and how he was pushed out? You know,
Yeah.
I think I remember something about, did he lose his house or something bad happened to him and it directly evolved from this case?
Well, like everything Cricket was saying is exactly what like I was sharing with you privately since we started talking. But the issue is whatever this happened online is nonsensical. So you can't even really openly talk. Like it's just this is the first time that I feel like I've ever been anywhere where we can talk without being worried about, what's going to happen.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, I'm so glad you feel that way. And I'm so proud. I'm so happy that Cricket agreed to come up and talk too, because I know it's very, when people come after you, it's very hard and you're kind of in it and it's very stressful. And, the last thing we need is for somebody to attack us just because we think differently than they do about this case. Or because Cricket may know something that they don't know, or whatever it may be. I don't think it's fair that they do that to people, I mean, we all just want to have discussions and be critical thinkers and actually think logically and talk logically about it instead of all the other garbage that happens. So anyway, that's it. So, well, I mean, I know that in the very beginning of this, things did look very different than they look now. I will say that. I'll admit to that. Because, I mean, at first, I was a little bit fooled. At first, I was thinking, oh, no, that's what really happened. No, that's not what really happened. I just don't believe that's what really happened. What was put out there in the beginning. I just don't. Because it's very, very real that if he had access to the internet at his dad's house and he was on the internet playing all the time, then I mean he could have met somebody because he spent a lot of time on the internet at his dad's house while his dad was at work, which I understand people have to work and that's okay. That's fine. I mean, he was old enough to kind of take care of himself a little bit at the house. He could be there for a little bit by himself. It's not like he was 3 years old, Uh, so I just think he could have walked out. And you're right, Cricket. We and Mom, and we don't have the footage. We've never seen the footage, and we're not going to see all the footage, right? We only saw what Barris put out and some other people put out, and we saw the Texas Roadhouse footage. Now that Texas Roadhouse footage, I believe, has nothing to do with this case. I'm going to say it right now. I don't believe it has anything to do with it. I just don't. What do you think, Cricket?
I agree mostly. Now, what I've heard in hearsay, I've heard, I guess you guys I know we seen on TikTok where supposedly Katie, Chris, and Seth had been emailing about sending Sebastian to a school, like a residential type school, because he was having issues at his school. Now, again, hearsay. My understanding is Katie was going to talk to Sebastian about that at Texas Roadhouse, which would align with why she gave him such a great day. My understanding is she did take a picture of him and send it to Chris, but it wasn't about some clean plate club nonsense. It was about, hey, I'm fixing to talk to him. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So at first I was like, it's very possible that upset him and he had a reason to leave that night. A fear or whatever. But there's certain facts that we have been given by law enforcement and whoever, and that we've seen that I can't explain away. Like I can't explain away his mother upping and leaving and going out of town. I can't explain that. I can't explain that he would have walked out on his own without shoes. I can't explain away that it seems, my opinion, I don't think if she was involved, I don't think that Chris was, and whether he knows or not, it seems he doesn't really give a damn to me. He's not bothered, it seems, but people could be different behind closed doors. I don't know, but it's possible that could have happened. Other than, I think he would have put shoes on. I think he would have took some of his stuff if he did it on his own. There's rumors that how she said he had never eloped and never ran off. Well, we know that wasn't true because supposedly he was under the neighbor's car or something. And I've heard he had actually ran off from the school a few times to guess where? The creek that's right behind the school. And I don't know if that's true. Like I said, let me be very clear. That is not confirmed. I do not know if that is a fact, but I have heard that. So, you know, I can see why Katie may not have said things about talking to him about the reform school or trouble he might have been in at school, because it was very private, personal, maybe even embarrassing. But that lack of transparency, I feel like, is the issue.
Okay.
I can't explain away her getting in her car the next morning to, quote unquote, look for him at the school with her windows rolled up and not driving the speed I would be driving if I was looking for my dog, let alone my child. You know what I mean?
Yes, we do. We kind of, like a few of us have kind of talked about that before together. I'm like, how are you looking for your child with the window rolled up? And why are you going to the school at that early in the morning? Then you got to ask yourself, has he ever ran off up to the school like that early in the morning before and we just don't know about it? Because it seems to me like maybe that was why she went there first.
It could be, and it could be the fact that supposedly, again, I do not know, but supposedly he had walked out of school down to that creek behind school when he got in trouble there. I don't know if that's true, but if that was like his little spot he used to go to when he got in trouble or he was upset, it would make sense that that's where she was going to look for him.
Amen. I agree.
But I don't know. And I feel like the answer is, I'm sure there's, according to Alex Pescador, who messaged me about those documents, it's not current, which tells me, and I've looked into her, and she's legit with what she does. And if she's telling me it's not current, that's her telling me that document was legitimate. So if it's not current, you know, I do question what is current. Granted, I'm not entitled to that information, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be public. But my question is, what happened after that? What is current? And because it seems, from what I hear, law enforcement isn't current either, because they're claiming they don't have a body. And if that was pulled out of the water, either it would be tested and we would know it was Sebastian, or we would know it was someone else. And I would think that would be announced. It would probably be someone missing, right?
Right. That's right. I wish we did know about that.
So that's where confusion and frustration is.
Let me ask Mom, have you heard anything? You know, I know Cricket's telling us exactly what she knows, but have you heard any of this come out of the people you know in Tennessee, or have there been something put out that something was not maybe not brought to the internet by somebody? And yeah, Cinderella, I know. What if he was lured by someone in the family? I mean, what if? We don't know. And KJ Max says transparency that did exist was odd. And Chris saying he likes to wet himself. He said selective transparency. You're right. And I think that was horrible. And there was no reason for them to say that. I mean, that was like, it's like victim blaming of some sort. That made me kind of sick when they did that. See, they just mistreated this child, I think. But, you know, he's still missing, no matter what they did inside their household, which is none of our business, but from what we see is terrible. So, you know, I don't know. What do you think, Mom? And have you heard anything? Oh, where's Mom? And did she fall off? Uh-oh.
Well, I think,
well, she'll be back.
You know, I don't think any of the three parents were stellar parents. Now, I don't think anybody's a perfect parent, you know. I had a kid successfully run away from my house, you know, so I feel like I have a little bit of experience to say no one's perfect and things can happen. But I think Chris honestly is just an asshole. That's what I think. I think he's a little bit vain and he thinks he's something he's not. Katie's behavior is weird to me. I don't care how reserved and how uncomfortable she is, because she's not that uncomfortable if she was getting on YouTube lives and just shooting the breeze for hours. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
So their actions are just weird. But I'm not going to sit and say that Seth hasn't done some things that are questionable to me too.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean any of them are guilty.
Right. I agree with that too.
Exactly.
So, I like hearing from people that actually live there. So, Mom, and have you heard anything different or anything that we have not heard? Because I know you live there, and I know you keep up with stuff.
Well, similarly, very close. I mean, I'm sure, there's a lot of stuff that is really hard and that you just can't talk about publicly. It's not right to do. I guess for me, my problem has always been, why is there so many narratives, I guess, and people so demanding of you accepting those narratives? I just don't get that, because his online access and all of these things being kept hushy doesn't add up to me when we've known this. Like, at first, I was under the assumption that he was nonverbal, right? And all of these other things. And then as time went on, you realize he's not. And I just think it's a shame, because you can only work with whatever's in front of you. And when you have so many different things happening, you're always going to have people fully committed to a totally different opinion now, because they don't even know anything else.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And I do agree with you on that, because I mean that people do get upset if you don't want to agree with whatever that narrative is right then. But really, there's only one narrative. There's the truth, and that's it. The truth is what we don't know. And the sheriff said, we don't know what we don't know. Isn't that right? He did say that. But
but what concerns me with that is how many times that they were under the impression that, the way it sounded to me, it was so focused on different attributes of classic, autistic traits that are usually more prevalent, right?
Right.
And they said repeatedly that go in pairs, that way we don't assume that it's him, and like all these things that when you look back, it's just, as a mom, devastating to me, because I loved being able to move down here by that side of my family, and it's alarming as a mom, right? Like, for me, it's different. That's why, like, I can totally relate to Cricket 100 million.
Right. Well, it is fascinating, and it is sad and it is true. When you hear about these kids missing in Tennessee, they're not ever found. I mean, why? When you hear, like, I heard a stat the other day, and it was like 99. How was it? Like 99.9% of the children that are still missing, it's usually like a parent involved type of a thing. I don't know, some weird thing I heard the other day. I need to look that back up, because it talked about how many of these children that run away are actually found. They're not just gone forever, right? There's only a few of them.
I'd actually done some research. It's probably been, I don't know, it's been at least 6 months ago. And I was just researching, like, how many children that are males are stranger abducted? Like, what's a percentage? And then I looked up for Sebastian's age range, how many were stranger abducted. Then I looked up, like, in the past 50 years and past 100 years, how many teenage boys between, I feel like I did like age 14 to 16 maybe, or 13 to 17, I can't remember. But how many in Tennessee is there documented, cases or files or whatever of stranger abducted teen boys in this age range? 0.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to find that and I'll send it to you. But yeah, I did a deep dive on that, and it said, there are females and males that get stranger abducted. Typically, they're under age 10, more females than males, but both do. But for teenagers, that number goes way down, and especially for teenage males. Typically, when you're there, it's usually family abductions or runaways is what, the statistics show, which can be off, but I mean, that makes sense.
It does make sense, because you got to think about, and then you got to look at this. Who would abduct that child? Now, I can see if you did not know him and you were just talking to him online, you might be able to lure him, because, he's very intelligent. That's the thing about Sebastian people don't realize. Yeah.
Well, the number one kids
right? Like, in town, they would have had a car. I mean, we're in Tennessee, and we're in the South, and we're poor here, but like, we're not out of touch with the times. Like, there's cameras all over every town in Tennessee, like even the little bitty ones. So somebody would have seen him in a car on a camera. They would have had to.
I think so too. Yeah. Mom, what were you going to say, Mom? I'm sorry, we started talking.
Oh, no. Don't apologize. I'm happy that you guys are letting me come up. It's nice to be able to talk openly. No, I was just saying the thing, and I'm not saying this happened, but for me, what, I just can't get past is we have this new digital age, and the targeted individuals are the kids that do have special needs and are more, in their teen years, because it's not like it used to be, right? They say, oh, I have a video game, or, oh, and I don't think that this happened necessarily, right? I don't know what happened. Like you guys, we don't know. Right. But I guess it's astounding to me, because when I started looking into the same thing that Cricket was talking about, I didn't even hear this being discussed in it, because it's a lot of us parents that don't even know that this is happening, with the Roblox, and they think that they're good, and then they'll go meet them a lot of times, even, in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So with all of the attention and everything that's come to trying to find Sebastian, right? I don't know why people don't bring that up.
Yeah.
So warn as parents, just to know, because in our minds, we're like, they're not going to take, teenagers, and nobody's going to come and kidnap, somebody that has medical complexities, right? That's
right. That's what you think, but
you don't know who this person is talking to that they think's their friend, that sounds like they're the same age, but really they're on a voice changer, hanging out for a couple of years. You don't even know it.
That's
on
right.
The internet, on the video games,
Right. The person they're talking to doesn't realize the child might have some kind of a medical condition, because again, you're online, you're texting. It's not. I don't think it's talking like you and I are talking, is it? I mean, I don't know anything about Roblox.
On a VR, my daughter does it on her VR, and I mean, it can be like that. And sometimes they may know they have a medical or a disability, and that could be a motive. That's absolutely true. I don't know. For me, with Sebastian's case, they supposedly took all the devices, and my understanding is they have to download everything on them onto their computer and go through it. And that's my thing. If Brandon Carter's the only investigator allotted to Sebastian's case, like, he can't do everything on his own. I can't believe I'm defending him, but I'm just saying, like,
it's okay.
How does that process work is my question. I mean, I don't think that he was lured out with a game. I think he either walked out or his mom did something, but it doesn't mean it's not possible, not at all, because when my daughter ran away, it wasn't to meet anyone, thankfully, but she was really struggling with a lot of identity and just a lot of stuff where she's always been very open with me, even now, she wasn't, and it was so unexpected, but it's what was being pushed into her head from gaming. And I thought I had a lock on it and was monitoring it close enough. Mm-hmm. And that still happened.
See, I wonder how many other parents think the same thing, not realizing what's happening on these games. I mean,
because it's kid friendly, like, they get away in. YouTube Kids is the worst.
Wow. Okay.
They'll have little toys on there. Like, I used to raise hell because my daughter would want new toys. She would get them for birthday or Christmas and just watch videos of other people playing with them and not play with hers. It was so weird. But then I had caught them one day watching one, and they were like making these toys do some really dark stuff, and that was on YouTube Kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's adults doing it. Like, it's disgusting. It's demonic.
I don't think, and YouTube is really, they act like it's monitored, but it's really not. I mean, if you stop and think about it, there's like bots that really kick our stuff off of YouTube or whatever because they think it's inappropriate. But then, you try to peel it sometimes, and it's immediately the bot says no. I mean, I don't think there's any real people.
And then on YouTube Kids, you have Legos like urinating on each other, like crazy stuff.
Oh, God.
Like, it's horrible.
God.
It makes you wonder who's behind it all. Like, who runs it? That, like, I'll get on a different conspiracy. Let me shut up. But I'm like, who's
It's okay. It's okay.
I want to know.
I mean, these are things that parents need to think about. I mean, my child. I mean, he's a. Oh, hey, y'all, listen. I'm so proud of him. I always talk about him. Is he is actually now considered a sophomore because he started at UT with, extra credits and stuff. So he's considered a sophomore now, and he got all A's, and so he's in the honors, and so I'm so excited. I just had to pass that along. KJ Maxx, yeah, yeah. YouTube kicks a cesspool. Oh, she goes, it's a cesspool. The comment sections are also very, very questionable under some questionable videos. Yeah, yeah. And then KJ Maxx said those stats. She goes, she also looked into those, and it's a guide to what's most likely, although not a certainty. Okay, good. I'm sorry, Cricket. Did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
No,
I was just reading.
I get really excited, and like I said, the ADHD, I interrupt people. I don't mean to. No,
It's
you're
okay.
good.
It's okay. I mean, I have the same problem. I mean, I do have ADHD, and it's kind of like, anyway, well, you know how that is because it's hard to stay focused on one thing at one time, and we never finish anything. Hello, bot. Let me get my glasses on so I can see who's coming in right now. It is Batgirl 18410. Hey, good to see you. Thank you so much. Hey, Cinderella. She goes, that's what I lean toward, but for the behaviors, okay, it just throws you for a loop. Yeah, how KKX just throws you for a loop. It does. Because I can tell you, the other day I put a video up where I found this lady on TikTok, and she was so distraught, and it was because they had just found her child deceased. Okay, and that I can tell you myself.
That was an awful one. That broke my heart.
Yeah, that is a grieving parent right there. That was 100% a grieving parent, and that is what. Well, I know what it's like because I was the same way. When they're coming to your door and they're telling you. Anyway, we'll stop talking. It's just that you know how a grieving parent looks, and you don't understand when that person doesn't look that way. Now, everybody grieves differently. We do know that. But when all you see is somebody going on vacation, going here doing, going and doing this.
Video, but I have to unprivate it and send it to you. Like I said, I made a lot of my videos private because it got crazy. Had actually made a compilation video, like comparing different missing children cases and their parents and how they talked about them, like on the news and regardless of the outcome. And when the parents were guilty, and I compared it to a lot of Chris and Katie's interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like everybody agrees different, but it was very telling, the differences, just in even micro expressions, let alone what they were saying. And well, it was sad, but it was interesting. I'll say that. I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you.
Do you mind if we put it
differently, but you could see true grief?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a difference between true grief and not grieving. Yeah, everybody goes through a different process. If you've ever lost a child, you know what that's like, and you know how deep that pain goes. And I would think even if your child was just missing, you would still feel that same loss. And it's to the bone. It's not something that you can just put aside and just go on about your married day acting like everything's normal. You just can't do it. You can't. You want to. When you're in that space, you want to so bad. You don't want to feel that way. You would give anything to not feel that way. But you can't. You can't stop feeling like that.
I can objectively say, back in 2017, my brother, who's just a few years older than me, unexpectedly passed away. And my mom and my dad, they're divorced, and they're so different. And I don't know how they were ever married, especially to have 2 children. But anyway, it changed the dynamic of them as people and of us as a family, of course. And they both grieve so differently, but it's so obvious. You know what I mean? Like
yes, I do. Yeah.
Not anything that's for sure. And my mom tries to put on face, but it doesn't work.
Right. A lot of times when you have a married couple and a child, something happens to a child, they either, and they pass away or whatever. A lot of the couple, they don't stay together. They can't, because they get into this blame game between each other, even though it's not really either one of them's fault. It just happens. It usually tears a marriage up.
Yeah. I've been divorced since we were very little, but my mom, she really struggles with that. Like, she puts a lot of blame on my dad because my brother was with him a lot and they lived together. But my brother, he was 29. And as a recovering addict, I can say, when you play in those ballparks, so unfortunately, you're either going to live or you're going to die. And I'll just leave it at that. But okay. I think it helps my mom process if she's like, this never would have happened had he not been around your dad, even though my dad is not an addict.
Yeah.
It just, it's how she copes with it. And you know, she'll act like she's fine to everyone, but she's always a little bit more short-tempered. Like, she goes to my brother's grave every 2 weeks and will not let anyone go with her. Like, and my dad, he's sad all the time. You know,
It changes you.
Hey, can you turn your mic up? Sprinkled, you're a little low. Can you get closer to your mic? Yeah.
I'm on my headphones.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, then we'll just listen carefully. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me any better or not.
I can hear you. We'll just have to listen carefully. Mom and I.
Changes who you are.
It does. I'm not the same person. No, I'm not.
I can't.
It really did. I don't know who you are. Who is this? Do you know this person, Cricket? Polish Archive says, let me upboard. I don't know who this person is.
Oh, I can't see the chat because I don't know how to have you this at the same time. No, that's fine, but you can ask me. Who did you say they were?
It's somebody named, I'm Dark Salesman, and I want to say hi. Well, we're all saying hello, but
hi.
We kind of planned this as a panel to talk about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And so I'm not sure who you are, so I don't really want to let you come up until I know who you are and what is your affiliation with this case and why do you want to talk about it. I hope I'm not being rude. I'm just kind of like, this is our planned event here. So okay. I'm so sorry. I know that. I hope you understand. I really do. But Cricket is our special guest. And she doesn't really like to come on YouTube. And so I just appreciate her coming. But anyway.
Well, I appreciate you attempting to vet. Yeah, I didn't mean to send you a huge questionnaire. I was just like,
it's okay.
Getting involved in anything that I don't want to be, because there are certain channels. Not saying
I know.
There's some I don't want to be.
That's understandable.
And it's fine to be a guest on one of theirs. I enjoy talking about, Sebastian and places I disagree. Maybe I can learn something, but also I don't want people to attach me to those channels. And then on TikTok, I deal with it because I retaliate to everyone. You just started following me, you'll see. Like, I make clapback videos regularly, and it gets exhausting.
It's okay, girl. You got to be you. That's how it is. I mean, it was okay because here's the thing: if somebody invited me to their channel and I had never watched them, or I didn't know them, or I didn't understand anything about them, I'd be questionable. Like, why do you want to talk to me? What's up? What are you trying to do? Of course I would. Yeah, it was fine. It's absolutely fine.
Being a small creator, I'm definitely like that. I'm like, why me?
I would love to talk to you ladies off of live because believe me, I understand that. That's why I didn't even message you, because I'm like, she doesn't want to be messaged. I'm not messaging her.
Hey Trish, how you doing? Yeah. She's like, don't you even message me. Don't even bother. I was like, okay, but I had to.
Y'all can message me whatever. Now, I'm not going to guarantee I'll respond, but I respond to a lot of people. I have no idea who they are. Like, I'm very responsive. My old boss used to say, like, I don't have a lie bone in my body. Sometimes I'm painfully truthful and I don't have much discretion on that. I don't mean to be that way. Not that I'm mean, like, I'm very authentic. Who I am on TikTok, who I am on this live, who I am in my real life, like, it's all the same. I'm just chaotic and funny, and I like to bitch, and I support the right to bitch, and I'm going to bitch about children being protected no matter what. That's just what I'm going to do.
And that's why I like you. And that's why I like Mom. And she's exactly who she is here is exactly who she is. Sprinkled Donuts the same way. We are all exactly what you see here is exactly what you see at my house every day. It's me. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm not, no. I'm just me. And I just want to come on here and I want to talk about these things, and I want to have open, honest discussions. And I want people to be able to say what they really think. Don't just kind of hem-haw around. Put it out there. Let it be known. Say it. I mean, that's your right. That's my right. And it's okay if we disagree. It really is. We can disagree and be respectful with each other. It's fine. Absolutely fine. So.
Yeah, I'm on a big kick where I feel like different platforms and even individuals, especially in Sebastian's case, like, there's a lot of silencing of people going around and a lot of muzzling, and I don't like it. Like I'm not going to shut up. You know,
Right.
until, I mean, they will have to force me, and I don't like the whole, if you don't fit whatever narrative, you can't say it. I mean, I have to be careful because it's been threatened that my account be banned, but do I have the
Oh,
right to say what I want or not? You know,
right.
that's where I get angry.
How are they going to ban your account? The only way that can happen is if you're doing something wrong. And from what I've seen, you haven't done anything wrong.
Correct.
I mean, I went back and watched. So
Sometimes people get, they think they're going to get a little goofy in my comments, and I reply to them, and they don't like it.
oh,
They report me, so then I have to appeal it, and sometimes the appeal is approved, and sometimes it's not. And when it's not, you get like a warning or a strike on your account, and you can only get so many in a certain time, or they'll ban your account.
okay.
And a lot
Yeah.
of people are hateful and crazy, and I don't care, and I'm not going to respond. But sometimes people try to use things against me that I put out there, not to change the course of conversation, but people will try to attack me for my past addiction issues, which I'm 8 years clean from. The only reason they know I had that issue,
Congratulations. Yeah.
I said it first.
Yeah, you.
Right. So I get annoyed. I'm like, you only know that because I told you. You're not going to hurt my feelings with that. And
You
they
know
get
what?
and report me. So
Here's the thing about addiction, and when you learn the process of how to become clean, it is good to talk about it, because when you talk about it, it helps you remind yourself not to ever go back there. You need to talk about it. You need to be proud of yourself. You really,
and
really do.
I
Yeah,
do.
there's no shame in it.
I
There's
don't
no
do
shame
it
in it.
for that reason, really. I do it because I try to be who I wish I would have had when I was going through it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because I really thought that would kill me, and then it didn't. And I want other people, especially as bad as it's got and was for years, where people just left and right were dying, and these families, which I watched my parents go through. I watched my daughter's dad's parents go through. They passed away 18 months apart. Like, it rocked
Wow.
the world. And I don't want people to go through that. And had my brother and my daughter's dad had the person I'm trying to be online when I talk about it,
Hmm.
could have been a different outcome,
Right.
So
It
when
could
people get sassy with me, I'm like, okay, let me clap back, and their feelings get hurt, and they report me. So,
have.
and I had
Girl,
to put Sebastian's case. They're like, what are you talking about? You're a heroin addict. I'm like, what?
oh my God. That's not nice. That's not right. People need to stop doing that, because you know what? Here's the thing. No matter what we've done in our past, we care about this, and we're going to talk about it. We want him found, and we want somebody to do something to help find him. And
Well,
if we can spread the word,
that's not everybody's goal, I don't think. I thought everybody's goal, no matter who they thought was guilty, was to find him and get justice for him. But I don't think that's everybody's goal. I've learned that over 2 years. I think some people's goal is just drama, chaos, content, followers, engagement. It's not this kid.
Well,
Like, they don't look at him like this is a real child. This is real life and really happening.
if
yes,
he's found, the money train stops.
that's true too.
All right.
Go ahead, Mama.
Hmm.
Mama, what were you going to say? You're
Oh,
going to say
darn.
something. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't realize I hit the camera. I'm just agreeing.
I was like,
I'm
good
sorry.
to see you. It's okay. But yeah,
Oh boy,
I mean,
everybody's gonna see how I really feel now because my face gives everything away.
no, you're fine. You're beautiful. You're always beautiful. But I know that you've
I
talked many
agree
times about
100%.
that. Yeah, about how
I
difficult
agree.
it is,
I agree
because
so much.
yeah. I mean, I know we talked about this too, about people. You think that they're out there wanting to find him, but it is true. If you find him, once he's found, all of it stops. And who do they talk about next? And then there's also the situation where if it is, and hear me out, I don't know it. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying, if he is deceased, and if they know this, I can see why they wouldn't want to talk about it, because all of it would stop. Think about that. People would, I mean, if they know that he is and they still haven't found him, people would stop talking about him. They would just move on to the child they think they can help, because that's what happens in these kind of cases. So it's kind of sad, but it's true. I mean,
Well,
people just move on. Yeah.
well, I think the thing that I find interesting about that, right? Because I know a lot of people, that was the right out the gate what a lot of people thought. Because a lot of children, right, they've gone through a lot of things. And we know that the news statistics, a lot of them unfortunately do pass away, right, from bullying and all kinds of things. But what I found is that most of the channels that I don't know about currently, but a lot, throughout the time, I don't think they really were channels without him too. And I think that could be a problem,
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot of new channels popped up, and it's off the back of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Now, I don't even do true crime cricket. That's really not what I'm about. I never wanted to even talk about these kids. I didn't really want to get into the missing children and all the things about that. That's kind of not what I wanted to do. But as I'm watching this case just go crazy, and I'm watching all these things come out, I feel like I got to say something, because I cannot agree, and I cannot sit back and watch things for hours that I don't believe is real or could be real. So I've got to say something. And
Right.
KJ Maxx says this case was very sadly the golden goose for quite a few creators. The
Amen.
incentives yeah, that's right, it is. Hey, okay, Cricket, somebody named it's Glitter is here. It's Emily Robinson 696. She says hello. I know you can't see the chat, so I'm letting you know she's here. Yeah.
Hey. I'm pretty sure she's one of my followers on TikTok and someone who supports my clapbacks.
Well, I'm glad to have them. Thank you for coming in. If you like our content, please subscribe. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to hound you on that, but I'm so happy to see people come in. It's exciting. This case, there's a lot of controversy in this case, and there's a lot of times when you start talking about it and people get upset with you and they just leave your channel because you said something they didn't want to hear, which I've dealt with that already.
Here it is. And it's a pride thing, and and I've had to swallow mine several times, like where I just made that video. I was like, look, I've went down this rabbit hole and I changed my mind, and I came out and said I thought it was this, and a lot of people got shook up, and now I've changed my mind again. And sometimes it can be hard, but I have to do that. I have to be accountable when my feelings shift or my opinion shifts. Like, I can't keep going and pushing some narrative because it's getting me views and people are agreeing.
That's right. I'm not going to do it. Listen, I'm not going to do it. And it's okay if y'all don't, and it's
Right.
okay if people don't like me, they can leave. It's fine. Because I'm not going to agree with something I'm not going to agree
Right.
with.
Having a voice, like if you have one and you are not afraid to post content or whatever, use it. Use it, because I'm fearful just in general of how long that's going to be okay to do. So when you're not going to just sit there and keep watching stuff and not say something. I'm the same way. Like, I'm going to be loud and whatever as long as I can.
Well, Emily says that Cricket is the most normal, down-to-earth human. You know what? I agree with you. Once I started talking to her, I liked her.
But thank you.
I mean, I really am enjoying this conversation. It just feels good to be able to put it out there, say what you want to say, and I don't have anybody in chat being mean to me because I'm saying something. Because I've dealt with that too. You've dealt with that. We've all dealt with that. With people coming into our chat and getting upset.
Since I can't see it, make sure you tell me, and I'll do what I always do when that happens.
No, it's nothing but nice today. I love it. Yeah, I don't ever want to have a problem in chat. I want everybody to get along and just be able to say whatever they want to say. And if they want me to say something for them, I'll say it for them. It's fine. I love that. Sorry, my name is Glitter. It's showing my daughter's name. That's too funny. Okay, okay, Glitter. We'll just call you Glitter. It's just fine. And Trishy says, keep up the honest dialogue. Thank you, Trishy. I plan on it. I was so happy to have these ladies today come up and have our panel because I've been wanting to do this for a while. But this, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what to even think about. How in the world, let me ask y'all a question. How in the world do you think it is possible for some video to be sitting around somewhere for 2 years, almost 2 years, and all of a sudden come out as being part of the case? Think about it. There's no way. The cemetery video is a problem. I'm sorry. It is a problem. It cannot be real. I just don't think so.
I haven't deep dived into that. I feel like I need to look into it. A lot of people are talking about it, but I agree. And I appreciate the work Mob Crew has done, and I'm not going to bash him. You know, I
Right.
think I know where he gets his information, and I don't trust that source, but I don't know that. However, no, I don't think some video of this cemetery is just coming out 2 years later, because why now?
Right.
Yeah, no.
No. Mommy, what do you think?
Well, see, my issue has always been also is that if people had come up with, holding on to things to just keep his name out there, why, right? And I'm not
Right.
saying that's what's happening, but it just doesn't make sense to me at all in any direction to keep it and to put it out now, because in the beginning the cemetery stuff was talked about and then it was it was quickly stopped and it wasn't
Mhm.
discussed anywhere, and I don't think you should discuss things if they're not factual, obviously, but that's not how it is. I've learned that the hard way. So
How would we have videos of everywhere but his front door, or
Thank
like
you.
his house or his drive? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
How do
Thank
we
you.
have videos that are supposedly the backyard, videos of the cemetery, videos of everywhere except for the roads in town where there's cars and they could see if he was in a vehicle, unless, they put a bag over his head or something. God forbid. I don't think that happened, but I'm just saying. Like, how do we
Yeah.
have random videos coming out 2 years later, but we don't have one of his front door?
Right. I don't get that either. KJ Maxx says, I'm not spending a lot of time on that whole video review, but I'm waiting and just watching. There have been so many false starts in this case. I can't be taken along for a ride. Thank you. You're right, KJ Mack. I agree with that. And Tricia goes, yeah, Mom agrees. And Couponing says, oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Thank you. Everything but what matters. That's right. Thank you. Everything but what matters. Why? So,
and in
It
the
goes back
beginning
to my issue with the law enforcement is, I'm not expecting them to lay the case out for everyone to gawk over, but I mean, they could say something and put some of this stuff to rest instead of complaining that, the mama sleuths and whatever are making it difficult and crazy. Like, they could just hold a press conference and say something of relevance and it would stop, but they don't.
yeah,
They,
that is a little strange.
and that's like, why?
Yeah, I'd like to know why too. I think that is something they should do. Now, I don't know why they don't. I mean, you could certainly come out and say, okay, listen, we have some evidence. They could say we have some evidence. They could say we are still on task or something instead of just silence. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Or shut down the things that they know are false flags. Even they don't even got to say, they have this or that. They could just say they've looked into this specific thing and they know it is not whatever, but they don't. And instead they just sit there and bitch about people talking about it. Of course we're going to come up with theories and we're going to do our own investigation and say what we think, right or wrong, because they're not saying anything.
That's
Like,
right.
you can complain all day about taking a shower, or you could just go take one. Like, what are you
Thank
doing?
you.
What are you doing?
Cinderella says from day one, she just thought it was so telling that, you work for a security company and you don't have cameras. And they think that we're stupid because we're not stupid, right? We're not. What benefit does the chaos provide? It's nothing. And Tricia goes, there are too many creators that live local to Sebastian and exploited their familiarity with the area and created their fake content to make it seem relevant. Thank you. I agree with that. Yes, Tricia, thank you so much. I don't know really, Mom, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I had a delay. Finish. I'm so sorry.
I'm finished. Go ahead.
I was just going to interject about, some of the stuff in the beginning, like they were saying in chat. Remember the dispatch audios and how
Yeah.
some people, when I couldn't go back because Broadcastify only stores for a year. And unfortunately, when I went to, because I always assumed it has to be the accurate dispatch audios, right? I don't
Right.
know. I didn't think to go looking and do all that stuff. And the bag over her head was actually in it twice, right? So
Yeah, right. It was.
we don't know if that was even
Was that
was it in
relevant?
there? Like, where was it from? We don't even know.
Right. We don't
You
know
know?
because they did not say the name of the city. It was just people talking on a, we don't know if that was really the dispatch from Hendersonville or not. We just heard people talking, right? And some of it you could clearly tell they were talking about Sebastian, but some of it you really couldn't tell.
Yeah.
They didn't mention every road. They just said, oh, over, wherever whatever they were saying. I mean, how do we know? We don't know. Yeah.
Well, there was the van by the kid with his dad. Like, there are just so many different things. And then, it leaves everybody with nothing but time to speculate. So I can absolutely agree with Cricket about it would have been helpful, I think, to stop a lot of the circus that they reference it as a circus, right? Just by coming out and saying, hey, there's stuff going, you don't have to give definitives. There's a lot of things that could be said to calm everything down, I think, without ruining the investigation if that's what they're worried about.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
But I think if they make comments on one misinformation, do you know how many comments they would have to make? They would be spending so much of their time disparaging all of this BS that's out there.
I hate to say it, but I wouldn't mind, because what are they doing?
Yeah.
Right. But
I mean, I get jobs and there's other things going on and other cases and other investigations, but let's be real. In Tennessee, like a lot of times it's, a theft or a shoplifting, or I don't know if you can say the D word on YouTube, but rugs, or, somebody having a custody issue. Like, it's stupid stuff. So I feel like there's somebody in that department, they could come out monthly, and they don't have to necessarily debunk every small thing, but they could be like, okay, we know we've been asked about this cemetery thing, and we know that, it's not what people think, or it's not factual because ABC, and we heard about this search and rescue team and we can't comment on that at this time, or just whatever. I mean, they could do a monthly, or I would be happy with a 3 monthly, something.
Just something, right?
Nothing. And the most we've got is it's still an open investigation, and Eric Craddock saying, even if he's found, I'm not telling anyone. Why the hell would he say that?
Why would he say that? That makes no sense. I mean, if he is found, the parents are going to know, but and then the parents can tell us. But I would think that, well, look what happened with that little girl, Ashley and Melody. They found her little body, and they didn't say anything until they actually had proof that it was her. And then the day they said it they arrested the mom, and then they said it. So, I mean, I could see if it was that's what he was planning on doing. I could see him saying if that was the plan, right? That would make some sense.
With the context of him saying it, like, it didn't come off that way. I could see him being like, we're not going to say anything unless we know for sure. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's a little bit of a wuss, in my opinion. Like, he's a little, he'll take a big game from, behind the whatever, but for him to actually go to the public and say, this is where we're at on the Sebastian case, like, he's not going to do it. Well, I'm not a cop, so I don't know, but it just, it doesn't make sense to me, and it pisses me off, frankly.
Yeah, I agree. KJ Maxx she said something very interesting, and it does make sense. She goes, I think there's a benefit to the chaos, or they would seek to quell it, in my opinion. Does this misinformation help them keep real info closer to the vest? Misinformation is a psychological technique in itself. Okay.
He ain't wrong.
Right. She ain't wrong on that one. I like that. She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong on that one. So, and then, she goes, Trish, she goes, the creator's perspective, but from LE's angle, regular updates would calm some of it. This vacuum of info is what I wonder about. Me too, KJ Mack, me too. And it's so great to be able to talk to people that actually live there. They see more of it than we do. They hear more of it than we do, because all we hear is what's out on the YouTube streets. And, I like to hear the real thing.
I have some friends that are local that I have known, and some that I've met on TikTok that aren't creators, but, they follow the case and they're local. And a lot of them have told me that it's very quiet there about Sebastian. And that there's no, still flyers up and nobody's talking about it. Where it'll go through spurts where, like when Seth was out there with his karaoke machine. But overall, like, it's not as talked about as you would think.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's super crazy to me.
I mean, I know there's other missing children.
If it was my kid, my town wouldn't be able to shut up about it because I'd be all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So that
I do. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know why it's
Yeah, I
quiet. It's
agree.
kind of weird. I mean, Mom, and I mean, you live close to. I know you don't live in Hendersonville, but I know you live close to there. I mean, I guess y'all don't. They don't even talk about it on the news. Is that nothing? Nobody
I
here talks
haven't heard
about it at all.
anything on the news since um, Barris's last, like the
Wow.
FBI update. And I mean, I don't think I would ever hear people saying much about it if it wasn't just because of when sometimes, when I would go out, one of my
Yeah.
children, how people all look
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. Poor
that
thing.
whole thing, that whole
Yeah.
situation, I don't think people would readily have been, talking it like I've been able to talk. But to me, that's always been something that, really kind of freaked me out, to be frank, because I just
Yeah.
couldn't get past, like, why is this a problem? Like, why are we not putting like, I don't understand. Like, I would not live right there without my son's face being anywhere and everywhere, as long as I was, not put in a cell for breaking the law, but, because that was a lot of what was said. You can't put signs here, you can't put banners there, just because whatever happened to him, if somebody did something wrong, seeing him could cause, guilt, or if he ran away. So I can't wrap my mind around that. I just can't.
Yeah.
And I know that ticks people off, but, but I feel like what's the point of doing it? Like, I
I
thought we
mean,
were all helping by putting signs and stuff up. And in a way, I think it's worse, because then they're like, well, why are you doing it?
Right. I said in the beginning, something I said is, you don't look for what you haven't lost.
hey, thank you.
And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. What about the billboards? Are there any billboards or are there not any billboards?
I don't know. I heard that the billboards that some content creators raised money for, I heard, they were up, but also it took a long time to produce any kind of evidence that they were actually paid for. I don't know. I know me personally, I don't really vibe with those creators. Not that we had a falling out, but just they always had a lot of drama around them. And like, I don't.
You don't
Like,
want that.
my favorite hobby is hula hooping because it's a one-man sport. Like, I don't do that whole thing. I'm dramatic as a person, but I don't like being involved in dramatic things.
That's too funny. I love that saying. That is so funny. But they say that, from what I understand, nobody has really seen a billboard with his name on it, and that's why I wanted to ask
Well, I
people that
thought
live
I
there.
did. Remember? And then I was trying to
Yeah.
hunt down the addresses to go back, couldn't get any. And I'm like, wow, like, that was definitely not what I thought it was. Like, I believe it was a health, what do you call it?
Yeah. Yeah. I know we talked about that kind of privately. Mom and I talk on the phone a lot because, well, we talk about this case a lot because we care about this case and we can openly talk to each other and not, don't have anybody going, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, like you do on live sometimes. But thank God I don't really have that over here. And I'm so glad.
Well, the
But
question is, if none of these billboards could be found or proven, did people get away with exploiting this child for money and have no consequence? Because that's wild moose behavior.
they actually absolutely have exploited this child 100%. It
That's
is still
crazy.
happening today. Yeah. Yeah. And it's terrible.
Because with those billboards, didn't they like raise donation money like upwards of $20,000?
They did. They did.
Yeah. So where did it go? I would like to know. It's not my business, but you know what? I don't mind to mosey in someone else's business. Where did that money go?
Where did that money go? I mean, where did a lot of things go that was supposed to happen over here? Right? Well, I can tell you what part of it is. And again, this is unfortunately, this is not a popular conversation, but I'm going to talk about it for a second. But at night, did nothing but sit over there on X and keyboard crazy from, just making crap up. None of it's real, folks. I'm so sorry. I hate to tell you this, but they're not doing anything, right? They're just not. They just sit on the keyboard.
That Jesus, Mother Mary, and the Shepherd, nobody is still following at night. I hope.
I hope not. Well, we know some people are. Now, I want to tell you.
I mean, like taking them for their word. Like, surely after that whole fake hoax thing, like, surely not.
Well, there's people that believe that was real. Just ask them, especially that creator. So, yeah.
Yeah, but we could never produce who Mindy was. Okay. Let me
Right, that's right. But there are okay, so now there's a new project out there. I don't know if y'all seen this or not, but now Nick the Hat's going over there on YouTube, and he's got this little panel of people that's coming up talking. But on their actual site out there for at night, it says now they're taking care of Sebastian's case, and they're in the Epstein files. Hello, the Epstein files are public. You're not in anything. Stop claiming that trash. I'm sorry, but it makes me so mad. Stop it. You're not really doing anything. Shut up,
Are you serious?
I'm serious. That's what it says, that they're in the Epstein files and Seal Sebastian. That's the two cases they're working. There's no case on the Epstein files.
You're right. Like the people involved in that have attorneys. Thank you, Nick the Hat, for your service. I found it funny when I researched their website and I saw that they were supposedly assisting the Summer Wells case, Sebastian Rogers. Interesting that it was two people that have not been found. And then that one girl who they took credit for finding when her sister did it.
Right.
And then I don't know if it's still on there when they were saying they wanted $1 million retainer. And it's not because they were greedy, but it was to make sure that people were serious about needing their services. Who in the elite do you think you are?
That's right. Who do you think you are? It's all just garbage.
That have $1 million.
It's garbage.
Like,
You got to think about who they are. Let me ask you this. Okay, I'm going to ask y'all this. How do you think somebody that is on parole federally, or is not really or is a Chinese national, how do you think they could get a private intelligence license? Okay, they can't. They cannot even, they do not have security clearance with any governments or any government agencies because they do not have the what it takes to get that kind of clearance.
Yeah, they can't even vote, can they?
They can't. They can't. So you can't have people like that. Really, they're not what they say they are. There's no way they can be. In fact, their address, it says that they are a mail distribution center. That's what it says. I swear to God. I can put it up there if you want me to.
They're armchair detectives like the rest of us.
That's right. That's right. At least we admit what we are, right?
The website, what?
Right.
I'm charging $1 million for anybody to follow me on TikTok. I'm just kidding. I know we're all fine, but it did sound.
Oh my God. I know. Oh shit. It's not funny, but it is funny because if you stop, that's the thing about this whole case. If you stop and look at the whole case and you think about the different parts of this case and you think about it logically, what makes sense is a lot of people can't make sense of what makes sense. But you got to look at it that way. There's no other way to look at it. So yeah, it's a media PR just to gain some kind of credibility, but it backfired. You're absolutely right, KJ Mack. It did, and that's sad. It really is sad because it hurt this case.
A lot of people, they went viral or they, got a huge uptick in engagement talking about this case, and I think that attention, became a little addictive because I'm not going to lie, like I've had a few videos that have hit 60,000 views or 100,000 and I'm like calling my mama and I'm like, people from Australia are commenting on my video, but I've never been monetized. I guess I can kind of imagine them getting addicted to that and feeling a little bit small town famous, maybe. Not that that makes it okay, especially over the subject at hand, but it makes me wonder, are they even processing that the subject at hand that's creating this engagement is like a for real missing child? Or is it just a trending topic? You know what I mean?
Because it seems like to me that's what they do, because now they're in the Epstein files.
Yeah,
there's nothing on the website. There's nothing.
They don't know. They're never gonna know. They've never met, and they're never gonna meet. It's like us talking about famous people or celebrities. Like yeah, they're real, but to me, like they're not. You know what I mean? Those people live a totally different life in a totally different place than me. So it makes me wonder: do these people, are they just addicted to this engagement and people paying attention to them, or do they have the same goal? Like, are we all really hoping he's found and justice is served, or some of us hoping for more content?
That's a good
Because
question, isn't
when
it?
I shared that about them documents, a lot of
Yes.
people, they were not mad at what I was sharing. They were mad that I was the first to share it.
Right. Because I've never heard about that before until you did. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't care about engagement. I'm not monetized. It would be cool to be monetized and just raise hell and get paid for it, but I'm not. Mine wasn't for views or anything. I was hoping the higher ups would be like, "Oh shit, this is on the table," and get talking about it at least, because I'm not sure they were even having conversations at that point.
Yeah.
But
I was
a lot
hoping.
of people were mad and calling like other people that I know that are content creators going off, and it literally came down to they didn't know about it first. They didn't have the information first. They didn't put it out first. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. Somebody put out something that is relevant and truthful for Sebastian, please.
Please. That's what I'm asking. Somebody
You can
please
go
do.
first. I don't mind. It's fine.
Right. I mean, if you can get it out there, please do, because anything we can get to the right people to get something going would be great. And the thing is, everybody, oh, the FBI, call the FBI, FBI. We don't even know that the FBI would take the case, even if they said, let's turn it over.
Statement had so many mistakes in it, and I get it. Sometimes I guess, I don't know with FBI,
I don't
but
know. It doesn't make sense, does it?
you say he was 14. There's so many things that were wrong and the story changed. But that tidbit about autistic children going missing and often being found in water or drowning,
Mm-hmm.
and with everything else we've talked about, like I can't help but think maybe, I don't know, maybe that was like a little emotional mental warning to the masses. Like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, I can't put much credit into them because of how much they had wrong in their September, post or statement or whatever that they did.
It was so shabbily done. And I don't even understand that. When it comes to the FBI, you don't expect that at all. So how did that happen?
But
Right?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's a power dynamic with the 3-letter agencies and law enforcement and the regular people anyway.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like, we're not entitled to the information or everything, but it would be nice to know, because some of us are parents. Like, I would lose my freaking mind if it was my kid and this is how it was being handled.
Amen.
I would go insane. Y'all think Seth is crazy. Y'all think, like, there ain't no way every person in this country would know my face. I would be everywhere. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I can't explain it away. Like, I know Seth is hurt and he's trying to do things, but there's also some weird stuff like his whole merch thing. Like, what are you doing? But the Proudfoots, that's why I said, like, I would love for them all to be innocent, but I can't explain away their lack of curiosity, their lack of silence, their lack of urgency, or their lack of communicating or putting themselves out there to say something, and just their lack of urgency. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
right. Well, when you lawyer up, why are you lawyering up? Why are you pleading the fifth? Why are you not talking to nobody? See, that seems very odd to me. And it seems to me like, I mean, because in the world of what I know when it comes to criminal, because this is basically, I believe it has been stated as a criminal case, if that's, I'm remembering this correctly. If you have a person in a criminal case that may be a suspect and they plead the fifth, boom, what is that?
But do we know if that's actually a fact, or was that something that went around online? It's hard for me to keep up and remember all these little details. I know that was said, but was that something that was confirmed?
See, that's what I would like to know. I mean, I don't know that it's been confirmed. Right. She's
That's
quiet, but I don't know.
Test, them saying they took one and this and that. We haven't seen any proof of that. And
That's
I get
right.
that, admissible in court or whatever, which, like I said from the beginning, though, a conviction, I'm not at all concerned about a conviction at this point. Once he's found and we figure out what happened, whether he's alive or not, we figure out what exactly happened, then we can worry about that. I don't give a shit about what can go to court right now. Like, I just want to know, where is he and what happened and how did it happen?
Yes. I think it should be first. Yeah, that should be first. Where is he at? Should be first. And then, here's the thing. He'll either be able to tell us what happened to him, or an autopsy will tell us what happened to him. And that is the only two facts that we know, period.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
Anything other than that, we're just talking, right? I mean, and I don't know. It's just so terrible, actually, that everybody, that the people who should be talking about it aren't talking about it, and the people who should not be talking about it, that's all we do is talk about it. So
Right.
it's kind of weird. Yeah.
The Blackfoots, not to knock them, because like I said, I made an apology to them because I was like, I think he walked out. I was really convinced on that. And friends and people who actually support me were like, okay, Cricket, but explain this. And I couldn't. And
Right.
so I think anytime they have talked about him, although I'll say, I don't know if y'all agree, but from in the beginning, when they rarely talked about him, it's totally different how they talk about him now. It's like they've heard our commentary and shifted, like how Katie used to talk about him in past tense and now she doesn't. I think she, read some of our comments and made proper adjustments. But
yeah.
that's weird.
But here's the thing about Katie. Now, and this is a fact, and it's part of the case that really should have never came out. This should have never been put out there. It should not. But she had a lot of childhood trauma.
Right.
So Katie has a very different. She's very different than we are. Okay, because she's not going to have the same kind of emotions that we're going to have because she's been through some terrific things. It changes you as a person. So,
I agree. But that still doesn't explain to me why she spent a lot of time. That's what I was getting at. Her, Chris, both.
Yeah.
They have objectively, this is a fact, spent more time defending themselves than they have talking about Sebastian or
Amen.
putting that information out. Now, while yes, I can sympathize with her for the things she went through because she didn't deserve it. It's total bullshit, and I hope the people who did it to her completely suffer in hell forever and ever. But that has nothing to do with Sebastian.
That's right. That's right. And that should have never came out. Yeah.
Different people have went through different things. I agree it shouldn't have came out. And I think there's things about Seth that shouldn't have came out. That's why I say all that extra information and just stuff. Like, I don't care. And I know people are like, oh, Seth groomed her, whatever, whether he did or didn't. I don't want to be mean, but I don't care. And people thinking Chris abuses her. This is going to sound really cold. I don't really effing care right now.
Like, I don't either.
I'll care later as a woman. Like, I'll care after we find her kid. But all that extra stuff, it's bullshit. It's nonsense. I don't care.
Amen.
We have to find this kid because this kid, let alone being autistic, is still a kid who doesn't have a voice.
And right. That's right.
I mean, they're all adults, and I hate that. Of what that's true, of what's not, I hate it, but I don't give a shit. Like, I care about Sebastian and where he is and what happened.
And I wish that they talked about him more. I do. I wish they cared enough to talk about him. I don't know why they don't. It seems weird to me. That's very weird because, anybody who has a child missing, yeah.
Like, if you be on the camera, even with a missing kid, like, whatever, that's your prerogative. But, like, even on their, like, Facebook, like, they don't post about, that's weird.
Why not?
Every day, like, has anybody seen my little blue-haired child running around?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bizarre.
Thank you, Sprinkled. I understand you have to go. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Go enjoy with your son. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you, Cricket. Thank you, Maman.
It's nice to meet you.
You as well. Keep doing the good work.
No worries. I will be raising hell for a long time.
I love that. Love it. Good night, everybody.
Night, Sprinkled. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Night,
I don't.
Nice. Night, Maman.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand it. You've got to be asking, where's my son? Where's my son? Where's my son? You can't just be sitting at home thinking about where's your son. You need to get out and talk about where's your son. I don't understand it at all. But I'm not her and I'm not him.
Like, does anybody know? Not that I don't think she deserves privacy, but like, where the hell are they? Does anybody know? Like, what?
I don't even know if they still live in that house or not.
I mean, I think they do, but like, what are they? I don't know. Like, that's weird to me. Not that I know what Steph does every day either. And like I said, they deserve privacy and not to be, berated by the social media people, but they're so silent. Like, that's what's weird.
It is. And who's actually, does anybody actually doing any kind of searches for this child? Does anybody go out and search anywhere? Or are they just done with that?
Well, I know a search and rescue team searched for him in April.
Right, good. I wish, but that was okay. So now this is January. Do you think are there any other planned searches that maybe the public doesn't know about, you think?
I don't know, but what I do know is it was thought that some kind of announcement would be made in July, and it was thought that if these remains allegedly that were in this photo were actually remains and actually Sebastian's, well, if they were pulled and tested, whether it was Sebastian or not, that information would have been out by now, and it hasn't. So that's what's weird.
That is weird. Very weird.
That's what got me worked up and talking about it again, because that was April. Supposedly something was going to be said in July that wasn't. Or is whatever's in that picture still in the water, or has it been pulled out, and have we confirmed it's not what it looked like, or it's not? That's right. The issue. So I don't know if there's any more planned. I was told my information wasn't current after she was pissed off. I put it out. I don't know. That's why I say, like, I don't know where the future of this goes. For me, it all hinges on that.
Okay.
On what was in those documents and what steps were taken after that, if any, because it seems like there haven't been any, because it's not going to take you 6 or 7 months to test something, even with Tennessee backlog. Like, it's not going to take that long.
Now, we know there are some creators from YouTube that do go out and search, and everybody appreciates their feet on the ground. I really do. Silver's 1 and 2. You got the Hatfield and McCoy team. They went out and searched, and I know there's some other people searching. But I was just wondering if there was like some kind of big search planned by any search and rescue. I don't know.
I need to try to get a hold of Steven and talk him into going out there with his boat. He probably won't. He's traumatized, I think, from all the bullshit.
He is.
But I'll be like, Steven, I'll buy you a milkshake. Go out in your boat and check.
Go out with him if you can and film it or something.
Well, I live there, but I could drive there in a day maybe, but I don't know if he would even want to. And honestly, like I said, I can't even blame him, and it's not because he doesn't care, because I think even now today he single-handedly did more boots on the ground than anybody. I mean, it was every day, all day, daylight to dark. He was out there and trying to run a business at the same time, but he was out there in his little boat doing his thing, and he really, and for nothing, just because he cared and to help. Like, he didn't get anything from that.
All he got was a bunch of hell. And I saw him on TikTok, and he was talking about losing his house. I mean, all kinds of things happened to him after that.
He lost his business. He damn near lost his life. Stephen, like I said, we disagree about a lot of things, and I tell him he's wrong all the time, but Stephen is good people, and he didn't deserve that. And it came from certain YouTube creators in Florida. I'll leave it at that. That's what started it all. They basically compiled a riot against him, and it was complete bullshit, all because he was just like, I don't know. That was what really got it going, was he would not say out of his fucking face who he put blame on, because he didn't know.
Right.
And I feel like, I disagreed with him a lot on that in the beginning, but that was fair. It was okay that he didn't know, because factually none of us do.
Right. That's
but
right.
Some people could not handle that, and they went after him and nearly destroyed him. And if I ever see him, well, I have a baseball bat, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, now you take that serious.
That's what I say. If people think mean to you, tell me, because I get really frustrated, especially, like I said, because he was out there. I watched him on TikTok every day. I mean, every day he was out there.
Well, I do remember that he was out there a lot, and I do remember how all of a sudden he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah,
KJ,
like, I have a wife and I have a kid. Like, I can't put them in jeopardy.
Right.
No,
nobody would expect him to. Right.
Like, it broke his heart to have to stop, and I had like a pitchfork and a torch. I was ready to go. Like, I was so mad.
You know what? Let me say this. KJ Max says, wasn't there talk back then that what we thought were remains were not, and anyone else recall that? And you know what, KJ Max? I don't I don't, but that's because I've heard so many things in this case. I cannot remember everything I have heard and seen
Well,
because
then
it's so much. Yeah.
I don't remember that specifically, but I remember, like I said, Stephen went out
Yeah.
there and saw something on that sonar, and it really looked like a possible person in the water. And he posted it, and people started freaking out. And he went back there, a few days later to try to find it
Right.
again because people were calling him a liar, and he couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I said.
Okay.
And then when I saw those documents that were saying they saw something about 40 or 50 feet from where he saw that, that's when I was like,
amazing.
oh, shit,
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. I don't know. Cricket, would you like to come back live with us another time?
Yeah, this was fun.
Thank you. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. You said, I'll give you an hour. We've been on like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And also I was late. And like,
Okay. That's good.
Mom was saying, like, it's nice to be able to just say what you want and talk about it. And I think it helped too, even though you said all the comments were positive, I think it helped me that I couldn't see them. So
Yeah, they're all positive. They're all great. I mean, the people that come in here, they kind of they get to say what they want to say, and I'm cool with it. I don't really, I'm never going to call anybody. I'm never going to say, oh, you're wrong, because I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just hearing and seeing and listening and trying to take in what I can see and decide from that really, what's
Right.
up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate you giving us your information because I know you saw the paperwork. I know you saw that. So why is it not relevant? That's really strange, right?
yeah, I support my right to bitch and everyone else's too. So I appreciate you for that, for opening that platform to be able to say what people want to say. Not many do.
No, I mean, I'm not ever gonna say, no, you can't say that. I want you to say whatever you think is right, whatever you feel is right, whatever you've seen and you know for a fact is right. Say it. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, all right, thank you, Mom. And I know Mom now I'm gonna tell you something. Mom has experienced a lot of things over there, and your twin made a good point this morning. um, your mom in over here she's went through a lot with this case because she at first moved to Tennessee. I mean, there's just a lot of things that happened over there that was so strange, and so that's why I wanted her to come on and be able to talk with you since y'all both live in Tennessee and tell us kind of, like the things y'all see because we're never going to see it because we don't live there. So
Yeah, she probably sees a lot more than I do. I'm in East Tennessee, so I'm driving distance to there, but I'm not super close to there. And I know, I mean, even here, and I've been to Nashville, I've been to Knoxville, and I embarrass my daughter because every time I see a police officer, I'm like, so what do you think about the Sebastian Rogers case?
that's funny.
Like, what are you talking about? And I'm just shocked, which I mean, I get they can't know about everything, but I'm like, how do you not know? Like, because I'm law enforcement officer's perspective on it. And once, if I had time, like the one in Knoxville that was trapped in an elevator with me, and I talked to Zero, he was like, I don't know, but it sounds like the family may have something to do with it. And I was like, damn, he was so happy to get off that elevator, I'm sure.
Oh no, I don't know. Oh, okay, Mom, and I tried to unmute you, but it won't let me. I think you have to do it on your end. I don't think I can undo it from over here. Yeah. You can't unmute your guest because they chose to. Okay. Yeah, you got to unmute yourself, Mom. And so sorry. Yeah. Here's another thing people have said. They have said that it's surprising how many people that live in that area don't know about this child being missing. Yep. That is weird,
They might know if his mama was out there talking about it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
okay,
man.
that's okay, Mom, and that's okay. I know we'll talk later. Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here soon. We were just kind of talking, but what are you saying about the UA on UA and then the whole neighbor? Oh, and the Bobby thing. Yeah, the UA and the Bobby thing and all that. I don't know, girl. That's very bizarre. Oh, look, now she came back. Oh, good. Tell me about that, Mom. There you are. Okay, Mom, tell me about that now. Go ahead.
Sorry, what were you saying? I don't know what
about
happened.
the UA and the about the
Well, I
the
didn't realize
UA and
that
the
he was
neighbor.
on his own. That's what I mean. Like until Cricket was
Okay,
just explaining all of that. Like
okay.
I
Yeah.
thought
What
he
about
was with
Bobby?
like a team.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
yeah. I thought he was working with somebody too. I didn't know. I mean, poor thing. But I mean, I had never heard of Stephen Crabtree until this case came up, and that's when I first heard about him. So, um, here's another question though. Y'all think about this for a second. How is it that Stephen Fisher is in every single high-profile case? Now, please tell me that.
That's a fair question.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I was watching Ryan Upchurch, which I'm not a fan, but he was in a deposition in court for, and he does a lot of stuff on YouTube and has a big following. I would not call him a true crime creator, but he was talking about the Kylie Rodney case, and he ended up getting sued and in court and I watched the 4-hour deposition. That's why I say like I'm on this thing about free speech, because he was just saying like it seemed scammy to him by her family and he didn't know what to believe, basically. And he was in a 4-hour deposition being sued for that. And I was like, that's crazy. We can't just say what we think online. But interestingly enough, Steve Fisher's name was brought up in that he was out there when they pulled the car out of the water or something, handing out business cards. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's
weird, right?
That's like an ambulance chasing an attorney. They're not supposed to do that. That is rude and horrible.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Wow. That's terrible. That's really terrible.
I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting because he is involved in so many cases. Like, why is he trying to hand out business cards and get more work? Doesn't he have enough? I don't know. It's just weird.
How did he get in the case over there in California? Does he live in California in the David or D whatever?
I heard where he originally is from and he has his PI license in different places. I mean, I will say I do think a lot of things he does seem childish and maybe even unethical. Like he's come after certain creators and some I'm friends with, and it seems like as a professional, why would you do that on social media, like making posts and stuff? But to be fair, to his credit, like he does have a resume, like he does, unlike at night, like he has actual reviews of people that he's helped with. But I don't know, he is involved in a lot of cases. Like, and how did the Proudfoots find? Like, I imagine he inserted himself and reached out to them rather than them find him on their own. But I don't know. I would assume if he's at crime scenes handing out business cards. I mean, I don't know, but
Jesus, that's bad. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that the Proudfoots would actually talk to certain people. I kind of thought that they were just kind of like only the people that they already knew. Because here's a weird thing, and I don't know much about this, but it's my understanding that he, Chris had a YouTube channel before any of this ever happened. He had a YouTube channel. Mama, do you know about that?
Who had a YouTube channel?
Chris Proudfoot.
Oh, I had heard that, but who knows? Probably.
Yeah. It's kind of strange, huh? I mean, well, maybe not. I mean, I just heard about it, but I never saw it. I don't even know if it's still up. I have no idea. I don't know. Cricket, did you hear anything about that?
I didn't hear anything about him having a channel. Like, I know he, I guess, created an account to go on those lives. Like, I'm sure he got on YouTube, though. I mean, everybody does. And you can get on YouTube and be logged in, per se, without creating a channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he had, like, a channel, like, where he posted things, or if he just had a YouTube account versus a YouTube channel. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I mean, I just kind of heard that. I mean, it's another one of those things that we just heard, and they talked about it for just a little bit. KJ Mack says, wouldn't you choose a serious, quiet, and very private investigator, one who's busy seeking and not PRing? I mean, she made up a verb, PRing. You're right. And KJ, you're right.
I would think, and I would be embarrassed if I hired one and they spent time posting on X or Facebook, shit talking TikTokers. Like, find my kid. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff should be private. A lot. Look, that remember the conversation that they were all having on that one channel, and they were all, and I'm seeing myself, and it was the private investigators, and they were all kind of talking amongst themselves. And I'm like, none of that should be put on this chat. None of that should be out here. That should have been private. It should have been kept quiet. It's not. That's not for YouTube. How are you actually doing your job if you're over here on YouTube talking about that? It's crazy. No.
Some people, including even Chris Proudfoot, in my opinion, I think they want to be a little bit famous.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a little weird. I mean,
It is
yeah.
a little weird. Yeah. Well, we've heard that there is a production going on. I don't know.
That's insane.
So, it is insane, isn't it? But is it? I mean, we don't know. We're dealing with Nick the Hat over there, and that group.
As it is, like, shitty. That's what I say. Like, yeah. I feel like people aren't registering like Sebastian is a real human.
Thank you.
Child.
Yes.
Like, it's just. He's a celebrity for them. He's untouchable. He's not a real thing. He's just a hot topic. And that's crazy.
Ooh, KJ Maxx is.
For sure, right? Because there was a lot of, like the one that had the Netflix with the cats, she was around too. And it's just really just odd.
Oh, yeah. Don't F with cats. That one? You talking about that, Mama?
Yeah, the different people. There were so many people. I think that's the sad thing that I've realized is like so many of these cases, it's entertainment now. I'm not saying anything about anybody directly with Sebastian, but
you're really right.
Is, yeah.
And the constant dopamine hits, like the up and down, the chaos, the drama. I mean, that's exactly what it is. People are addicted to it.
They certainly are. Trishy goes, SF does get a lot of legit press and media attention. I could never understand after getting blocked by him on X because he was so unprofessional. It makes one wonder about who he really is. Thank you. You got blocked, Trishy?
Well,
oh, my God.
You can get on Reddit and other websites and look into him. He does have a bit of a past, from what I've read, and a few civil court cases involving his former photography business before he decided to be a PI, which is a crazy jump to me. Like, how are you a photographer and then you're like, I want to be a private investigator? I mean,
well, if you
chase your dreams, maybe, I guess.
Maybe he worked it out and he's really getting the dirt on people.
Maybe.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't know. I mean, gosh.
What type of photographer he was to going to a PI, it was confusing for me. No, I'm not judging. I'm just, stating facts here. Like, I think he was, how do you say it, like a boudoir photographer?
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying, like, from a true crime perspective, right? Like, what you have informants and you have, so who, you never know, right? Who knows?
Right? Who knows? All right, guys. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up. It's been 2 hours and 27 minutes. We went longer, but that's okay. I've enjoyed every single minute of it, and we're going to have you come back. And what an odd jump. Yeah, it is, KJ. We're going to have you come back again, and we'll do this. Let's have another panel. We'll just plan another day where we can all come back together, and we'll just talk some more. And if you find out anything, Cricket, let us know. And please, if you have not been onto TikTok and seen Cricket's channel, she ain't wrong, because she ain't wrong. Go over there, check her out, and please subscribe. And if you've not seen Momming It Up, she's now the OG Mommin'. Go check her channel out, and please subscribe to her. Please, thank you so much. And myself and Sprinkle just do our Little Red and Sprinkled experience. And then also have my Little Red channel. I always forget to ask people to hit that thumbs up. I never ask. I just always forget.
I can subscribe.
Yeah. That's what I should say. Put it up there, right? She goes, how does that stuff get so much legitimacy from actual, from media? It is interesting. We're going to have to, let's do it. We'll just talk about him one day. Let's just go ahead and do a little deep dive about him one day. We'll talk about it, because there's things I want to know, how you go from one to the other like that, and how you're in every single case, and how does that happen? I mean, it's amazing, But anyway, thank y'all for coming. I really appreciate you. I hope you've had a wonderful new year, and I hope you've got some good plans. And what I'm not going to ask you what your resolutions are going to be, because that would be rude, but just make it a good one. How about that? Anyway.
Thanks for having me. I had fun, y'all.
Me too. Please come back again. Y'all have a good evening. I always say, be careful out there. Take care of yourself and go hug your babies. You know, I talk about that all the time because life is short with our children, babies. I'm telling you. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.